Hello, Jamie. I'm all right. I just literally clicked on the live button. No, not yet. I haven't. No. Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, I think I said I was going to send it 5 past, something like that. I think I said to him. All right. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Bye. Ooh, speaking of Jamie Dobb there. I was literally like pressed on the click to say live, and then literally like Jamie Dobb. It's like, hello. Yeah, that's racing. Just speaking to Jamie. Oh, right, brilliant. Anyway, I can see a few people have come on now. Lee Ashby here, Motocross and Spear Memories. We're back with a peach of an interview. Just got to let you all know before I send the link to Jeff. That was basically just Jamie ringing me quickly to check if I'd sent the link to Jeff, and I hadn't yet, so nothing's been missed. So yeah, we got the Cardiff Supercross tickets on. You obviously know the events this Saturday at Cardiff for the Supercross to see all the Roxons, Tomacs, and all them guys there. We've got 2 VIP tickets going for a comp, so you can get hold of me for numbers. Only doing numbers 1 to 50, and I'm going to draw that live Thursday night, 8 o'clock. So it's only a 3 nights time. So get involved in that. I think about 8 numbers are gone at the moment, so you can get hold of me for that. Also, obviously, you might have seen about our Motocross and Spear Memories Champion of Champions meeting the end of this month, 29th and 30th at Culham. Get on, go race, and get booked in as soon as possible so we can make this event happen, people. Also, I will post up a little link that I've got and one at the end. A few people asked me if they could help me in any way, and basically my man Adam Winslet sorted me out with a buy me a coffee link. So if any of you wanted to help out at all after an interview or anything, even this cost me about 40 quid a month, is it, the StreamYard, Adam? There's the link as well. If you click on the link for StreamYard, that is to make sure that you register your name like Pat Stott there. How's it going, Pat? Your name is appearing. Hi, Leon. I know you've got a massive collection of very cool things. I know. How freaky was that? He literally looked at my phone. I did that. Oh, shit. He was just checking to make sure that I hadn't sent the link to Jeff and that he hadn't got it. Not sure who that is. But see what I mean? Like, guys, these sort of come up like that. Look, it'll just come up like that with no name. But evening to you, whoever that is. So you click on this link that my missus put on there, or you come out of the video quick, just click on the link on the post, and it basically just gives your Facebook privacy permission to use your name. So you can see your name like that, look, like Pat. So your name is sorted. Dan's is sorted, look. Yo, Dan. Hi, Elliot. How's it going, buddy? His is sorted, look, with the RC. I see that video of him on the 125. It's pretty cheeky, wasn't it? Hi, Tim. Tim's is sorted, look, and Cole's is sorted. So that's how they should come up if you've clicked on the link. So yeah, I just mentioned the Cardiff competition, mentioned champion meetings. I'll mention all this again at the end as well. Like I said, I'll put this link up, buy you a coffee thing. I think I've already put it in the link actually, but I'll put it up there and I'll put it up at the end anyway. So if you're feeling like you want to buy me a coffee, please do so. Cheeky, look, just ice water. Not sure who that is, but hello. And I'm not sure who that is, but hello too. My missus has put the link there in the comments. If you want to click on that, gives you a privacy permission for your name so I can see who I'm talking to. So then, what else did I need to say? Yeah, I think that's it all covered, isn't it? I've got my questions in front of me. I'm sure you guys are going to have plenty of questions for me as well. Got plenty of pictures to go up. Your name's all good on there. Look, Adam. Evening, Adam. How's it going? Checking on time for once. There we go, Dean. Your name's all registered on there. Hello, my friend from Panama. I know you were at the Motocross the Nations and you sent me the pictures. Hopefully you can get your name registered on there as well. Just click on that link. Oh, sorry, yeah. She's my wife now, not my missus, apparently. Same thing, innit? Not sure who that is. I will buy you the new 2023 jacket instead. Not sure who that is. Who is that? Who is that and what is that? Evening ref? Evening coach, should I say, Rousey? Got a very cool, famous megastar, Mr. Jeff Emig on tonight, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. Not sure who that is, but good evening to you. Any of you guys haven't got your name lit, it comes up as Facebook user. So come on, Jamie Smith, sort it out. But yes, I'll have a 2 friends and 23 jacket. I just realised if that's you. I will have one of them. Thank you very much. So yeah, you either click on the link that my missus has put in the thing, and that just basically gives, where is it? There. Well, she didn't click on it before, then she clicked on it, and then you click on that. You either come out of this video, click on the link, then come in the video. Just gives your name permission because of the privacy and all that rubbish. Blah, blah, blah. Then I can't see who I'm speaking to. It just says Facebook user, which is really annoying. Hi, Franco. He'll be on soon. That's very cool. Yeah, I saw him there. Anne McGrath and co was pretty cool. Hi, Mark. How's it going, buddy? I'm sure you're looking forward to Saturday after winning that competition with the hotel. I was just telling the guys we've still got another competition going with 2 VIP tickets. If you want to get hold of me, there's only numbers 1 to 50. We're doing the live draw Thursday. I think there's 7 or 8 numbers gone already. So if anyone wants to get into that, don't look like there's going to be nowhere near 50. So if you want to get involved, very small odds. Not sure who that is, but evening. That beard has got very grey, mate. Married life taking its toll already. Ouch. Thanks, Dan. It's been getting grey for a while, but stressed out, aren't I? Right, let's send the man the link. Let's get cracking, shall we? Hopefully, he has got that. I'll just text Jamie as well so that I'll say it as a message. Yeah. Any danger? Let me a message. Right. So hopefully, oh, there you go, Mr. Smith. Ultimate Wheels Honda man. Beautiful setup he's got. What are you going to be in next year, Jamie? What's the team setup going to be in? Can you let us know on here? Hi, Martin. How's it going, buddy? Asking why he didn't come back to us about commentating on our reunion. I actually did ask him that. Yo, Wes, how's it going, buddy? Here's another 90s motocross man. I bet he's looking forward to this with Jeff. These are the ones that make me sweat. Wait till Jeff pops up in the bottom of my screen. You'll know. I'll do that. Kid in a sweet shop and all that. Right, I've sent Jamie a message as well to say I've done that. Let me get my questions ready. Don't want to have that. I'm not ready. I've got my questions ready. I'm sure you guys have got questions ready. Yes, Jamie. Love that. Do you need a cleaner, mate? I'll come and work for you full-time as a cleaner in your setup. I'm as OCD as you, so I'd love to see you doing all that, cleaning up that mega setup you've got. Beautiful. Yo, Marlon. How's it going, buddy? You going at the weekend, Cardiff? Yes, another ledge for sure, Simon. He's going to be a proper ledge. Oh, I can see the man. He's come in. I can see you, buddy. The legend is here. I'll go and change my underwear, and then we'll get this going. Right, let's get this going then, people. I can see the man is there, and we're going to bring him in the screen. Just going to play this little intro video. Let's get it going. The man is here. Let's go.
I was playing. Huh. I was playing. Huh.
Beautiful. It's not every day you get to do this, but here is the man. Hopefully it's all going to work good. The Fro, Jeff Emig.
Yeah, how are you? Hey, would you rather me go like side
Yeah,
screen
I
on
think if
this?
you do sideways, it might
Yeah,
go
why not? Why
full
not? I
screen,
could probably
maybe.
I should be able to fix this up. Just give me 1 second and we can go
Beautiful.
what do they call that? They call that yeah.
Shimmying.
All
Made that
right.
up.
Yeah. All right.
Can we see you now?
Here we
That's all
go.
good. Beautiful. Jeff, how are you?
All right. I'm good. Been in the UK since Saturday morning.
Yep.
So been up here at Jamie Dobbs, visiting him and the family, and Jamie's daughter Gracie is 21 now. So
Yes, just saw the
it's
post of that.
hard
Yeah.
to believe, right?
I
Yeah,
know. See him at that little height, and all that.
yeah, 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 yeah. So been enjoying my time. The weather's been great, which is not usually the case when I get over here, but so far it's been a nice trip.
Beautiful. So it's all good then. So it's all good in the Dobb household. There's been a party going on, so that's been good. What you been up
Yes,
to lately then, Jeff?
there's been an insane amount of prosecco being drank by certain individuals. So and Saturday night was a pretty intense karaoke party. I'm sure there's definitely some incriminating video out there
Yeah.
with me singing possibly Vanilla Ice and some
Ooh.
other karaoke hits. You know what I mean?
Another
So,
vanilla ice.
yeah, we've had a good time.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I love that one. Yo, wait,
Well,
don't
thanks
stop.
for the
No,
intro
wait.
video there. It's interesting, I see those photos and they bring back such great memories. I mean, for the most part, they were all pretty good memories, and it's starting to feel like my racing career is starting to feel like it's been a long time ago. A couple of years ago, it didn't feel like 20 years, even though it has been. It's going on 23 years probably since I've raced as a professional.
Time flies, Jeff?
It does. It definitely
does.
does.
Mate. Oh, I've got. What's Franco saying here? He's put, Jeff, I hope you found the luggage.
Oh, Franco, yeah. So he was our driver when we went to Majora. A month ago
Okay, recently,
for the FIM Vintage World Cup.
Yeah.
Franco likes to ride those bikes with no suspension. It's hard on your back and your balls, but he got us to the airport and every place we needed on time. Yeah, so a flyover to Majora Park.
Yep.
Okay, my girlfriend comes with me. It's her first trip to Europe. We get rerouted at Heathrow, 6 hours at Heathrow, end up in Frankfurt. They literally give away our seats to somebody else as we're making our transfer. 5 hours in Frankfurt. We get in 1 a.m. Franco picks us up like super late. No luggage. One bag made it back after a week. We did get all the bags back, but it was about 2 weeks until the 2 other bags got back. And I was over there to ride part of the Legends group that they had for that Vintage World Cup. Except my gear never made it. Gear, graphics, none of my stuff.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it took it's a beautiful area. Great, just a fantastic race. Stay in Arona, Italy there, stay on Lago Maggiore. Food's great, super fun. But we were just dealing with that lost luggage issue. It was a nightmare, but that's part of it. I better get comfortable with that now that I've signed a contract to do the new World Supercross Championship. Now we're only going to do 2 races this year, but next year we're going to be upwards of 12 or 15 races, and then year 3, 4, 5 we're going to be upwards of around 20. So I better get a bag that I check that's got my broadcast shirt at least, right? Maybe some toothpaste, toothbrush, and I definitely going to need some hair product. So yeah, I'm going to need to do that just in case those bags don't make it.
Yeah, you need to get some real retro, like loud colors on it, so it just cannot go missing possibly.
Yeah, that's not me. Everything I have is black, man. That's just the way it is.
All right, it's a bit stealth.
This wall is giving me like anxiety right here that
Yeah, I
Jamie
know. I
has in
see
his
that. I was
office.
just about to say you need like the suitcase like that.
Oh, what Naomi. Yeah.
What is going on there? Is
We
that
got
like
this really
cows?
special thing right here. Not sure if you guys can see that, but it says when you're hot, you're hot. Okay.
Yes.
And Jamie and I have had a really close friendship for, I mean, it's going on 30 years now, right?
Mhm.
And in 96, when we were getting down to the final pro motocross event of the 96 season, McGrath and I were head to head going to the final race. Jamie gives me this card with these words of encouragement, and the card said when something along the lines, when you're hot, you're hot. I've got it somewhere. I know that I kept it. It's in all of my memorabilia and stuff. And that really meant a lot to me. You know, we really supported each other through those years. And then what's ironic is here I am in his office right now up in Derbyshire. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that, but I was retired when in 2001 when he was going after the 135 World Motocross Championship.
Yep.
And I went through this phase. Where I thought I could be an artist. Okay.
Okay.
I thought like I've got it. Like, yeah, I can be an artist. And so I actually painted this thing for him. I hand painted this myself. This is the only painting I did. And so I took and painted this chili pepper thing
That's
because that
brilliant.
was kind of the deal. So, and he still has it after it's been 21 years now. And so,
Oh, I love that. I love
and then
that.
Naomi puts this thing up: when you're hot, you're hot.
When you're hot, you're hot. I love it.
That's right.
Brilliant.
Yep.
That's brilliant. Kevin,
Yeah.
my mate there has just said, miss you on the AMA Supercross commentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Kevin. The 12 years that I did that broadcast, obviously Ralph Shaheen was always next to me on that deal. We had a great time having a lot of the time we had Ricky Carmichael in as a third person in the booth. Hell, who'd we rotate through? We rotated McGrath through, Wyndham maybe. I'm sure we had some guests. I'm sure Stewart and Reed and some of those guys might have stepped in as a guest at one time or another. Just, you know, what you don't understand is that, or what you don't see at home, I guess would be a better way to put it, is that, you know, like here we've got the three of us on screen. This is back in the Speed channel, Speed Network days. But we also have just an amazing, like the production crew that's in the truck. Also in the broadcast booth, you have your camera guys that you work with. There's a good picture of camera guy right there. The assistants, the booth managers, or whatever they call them, and we all work together. And it's like every Saturday night we'd have, you know, we have our group, and you know, you get to be pretty close with these people. And, you know, especially over the years that I did Supercross and even Pro Motocross, you know, working really closely with our pit reporters and the track reporters. I mean, you know, we had Aaron Bates in the early days. Jenny Taft came on. There were fill-ins along the way. Man, you know, just really some incredible women that just, you know, were fantastic to work with. And you know, one thing that has been said from the bosses at Fox Sports is that group that we had that really started to come together in about 2007 when I came on the Supercross broadcast. I left, my last year was 2018. But they said the chemistry and the togetherness that our group had was really special, and that in motorsports broadcasting, it's really rare that you have a group that works so good together. And some of those people are still together. Some of the teams still working together. Little pieces of the pie have been, you know, changed out, like myself and whatnot. But, you know, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work. I mean, I feel like we do all the fun stuff as the broadcasters, but it's really, it's a special thing to bring the sports to the people at home, and to have that responsibility of trying to represent the riders, the teams, the paddock, the industry, the sport, all of these sort of things. And then you want to entertain the fans. I mean, there's, the viewers and all that. So it was something that even though we had a tremendous amount of fun, I really took, pretty seriously.
Yep.
And so I feel like that since my departure, the fans have just been really outspoken and really supportive of the work that I did.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it even more exciting to, for the fans that don't know. But Ralph Shaheen and I, along with Kristen Beat, are going to be bringing the new World Supercross Championship to the fans around the world. And we start that this Saturday in Cardiff, Wales, here in the United Kingdom. So we'll be back together again. Yeah, it should be pretty cool.
It's going to be very cool. And like I said, there's quite a few people that's mentioned that already on here. A lot of people loved you guys together on the AMA Supercross for sure. So we'll all be looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, and I know everyone's kind of chomping at the bit. I believe that the announcements for the networks are going to come out maybe like within the next day or so, so that you can find out where you can watch it. For sure, I think it's World Supercross TV or WSX.TV, something along the lines. If you want to watch it digitally, buy the package and things like that, I believe that's out there. They haven't made the announcements on where the over-the-air and the cable networks and whatnot, satellite networks and stuff will be yet. But it's all starting to come together, and this is a whole new effort that we're involved with, and Ralph and Kristen and I, along with the rest of the broadcast team, we've just started to have our initial meetings, and once I get down there to Cardiff on Wednesday, things will really start to kick off. And Thursday, Fridays when we start meeting with the riders, and we're at the stadium, and everything's ramping up for a brand new broadcast Saturday. So it's pretty exciting. And in a way, I got to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about taking on the responsibility again, because there's a lot of newness to it all, right? The team structures and how all these riders are coming together, all that's new for everyone.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, Eli Tomac's going to be there, but he's a wild card entry versus, these other riders, they're part of the teams that have the ownership in the championship. And so there's just a lot of newness happening. A little bit nervous, but definitely excited to get it going. It's just so, like, there's just nothing else like sitting next to Ralph, and I got to lay out because it's not my time to talk, right? He's the who, what, where, and when. I become the why and how. And hearing Ralph ramp up how he's so good at bringing you to that climax of the drop of the gate, does the same thing at the finish of the race. And so for us to get to call these races again, and to do what we do, and we enjoy each other's company so much, it should be really cool.
It's going to be very good. I'm going to be there as well, so buzzing for that as well.
Nice.
I actually went to the Speedway GP there, Jeff, last month or so, or whatever it was. This was about a month ago, and that was good. But I think this is going to be much better. I don't think these top guys have been over here for a long time in the UK, so it's obviously building up nicely for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The best thing, it's got a roof on the stadium, so we don't have to worry about worry about the rain, right?
Exactly.
Exactly, like Fox Hills. What was the Motocross of Nations that was just a mess at Fox Hill? Ricky rode it. Was that 99 maybe or something?
98. I think it was.
The 98. Yeah, I didn't go.
Yeah, that's my hometown, Fox Hill, Swindon. So.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, it is very cool. But yeah, it was mental. It was awful. Right, I've got Marlon here. Has just said, Jeff the Fro Emig, thank you for giving me your Blue Bursey Supercross beer, but I still have it to this day.
Oh, nice,
Beautiful.
nice. Yeah, man, maybe were they blue every year? I don't know, but
I
maybe
don't
he's
know,
talking
because I think
about
they're
like
yellow as well.
97, 98, one of these. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the yellow camel ones in the early 90s.
Mm.
So I think it was like the Philishave or something like that in
Yes, I
the
remember
mid to
that.
late
Yeah,
90s.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Very
Oh, Bear
cool.
Sea was such a cool event.
Mm.
You know, I remember coming. I was actually one of the first places that Jamie Dobb and I really started to hang out. We had met each other
Was it?
before when he
Yeah.
had came to California, and in 1990 was my first time riding Bear Sea. And Jamie and I kind of hit it off and hung out, and I think we were both riding Yamaha 125s, which were the biggest pile of shit that year. They're like riding a production bike, not much modification to it. Maybe brought over a set of suspension and that was it. And kind of kind of doing that, when you're trying to just get by on minimal equipment, you know. So it's really, I look back on those times and I didn't have a lot of success there. I did win the
You did want it there,
Prince of
didn't you?
Bearsea a couple
Mm.
times without
Yeah.
winning a main event, and I won a race maybe in 96, 97, was the King of Bearsea in 97. It was a difficult place to race, but
Mm.
looking back on it, it was just so unique, and
Mm.
racing through the tunnels and
That was cool.
all of those things. Yeah, it's just the pom pom girls and the music and the laser lights, and I mean, I still, you know, I can't listen to AC/DC Thunderstruck without having visions of Versi in my head. Because when that song first came out was when we like the early '90s, and they would crank the shit out of it. It would be so
Uh,
loud,
love that tune.
absolutely incredible. Yeah, it was good.
Very cool. I've got Wayne Davis here. He's just put, what was Jeff's relationship like with Mike LaRocco? I know they had a few incidents back in the day. I
Oh yeah,
actually remember. I remember one of these.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Multiple incidents, and yeah, we just it becomes when you're at that level, it's like there's some guys that you just don't mix well. It's like oil and water. It's
Yeah.
just not going to happen, and you're both fighting for the same thing. And when you the early '90s was a difficult time because around '89 and especially '90, Supercross got really dirty. I mean,
Mm.
it was dirty. You watch 1990 250 class in Supercross in America. Dude, those guys T-bone, block pass, took each other out. That nobody could play nicely. There wasn't a lot of respect even among everybody. I mean, it was just kind of, and that was kind of how we were bred to be. As you become older and more mature, some of that stuff starts to go away, and you know, as you become the guy, you want everybody to race you safe. But when clean, I mean, but when you're
Yeah.
not the guy, you're like you don't care what you got to do. You got to beat him, right?
Yeah.
Ricky was like in his early part. RC was like, well, Ricky Johnson too. Those guys both were pretty brutal. And then once they became the guy, they demanded everybody ride him clean. Well,
Yeah.
not so much Ricky Johnson. He's got the best stories ever. But
Yeah.
LaRocco and I, we just had a lot of run-ins. I mean, he couldn't pass me without trying to take us out. I mean, I probably did the same thing, you know. But what's crazy is, uh, unfortunately, he got divorced from his wife about a year before I did.
Okay.
So I start my divorce in 2017. I go to one of my local restaurants on a Sunday to watch some NFL, eat some food, sit down at the bar. I look over and it's Mike LaRocco next to me. Oh, hey, Mike, how's it going? We end up sitting there for 2 hours talking about kids and
No way.
marriage and divorce. And yeah, everything was just chill,
Chill, yeah.
Then it turns out we lived in the same area,
Wow.
you know. And later on that year, we did the Motocross of Nations at Redbud, the first time that it was at Redbud a few years back.
Yeah.
And they during the autograph signing, they sat Billy Lyles, Mike LaRocco, and I together because we were the 92 team. I hadn't seen Billy probably since that race. Mike and I are putting down the red wine, having a good time. Like, just, he's kind of he's quiet, very serious individual. He let his guard down. We had such a cool time. Like, it was great. And then what's even crazier is he's got a son named Jagger that's about 6 months older than my son named Jagger.
Wow.
They now go to the same school. They've been friends for about 2 or 3 years. His kid has stayed at my house before. So if you had told me in 1992 that he'd have a son, the same name as my son, and that they'd be hanging out, buddies, staying at the house, I'd say, you're crazy. That's never going to happen.
Wow.
But here we are. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
mental.
So,
that's unreal, isn't it?
I mean, that's what happened. When we were at Majora, a month ago, hanging out, having breakfast with Joel Smets, man, in 1996, 94, 5, 6, 7, all that time doing those Motocross of Nation races,
Yeah.
Smets and I were not in a good place, and that's just the competition part of you,
Yes.
But now we're great, like he's rad. We have a good time.
I remember one with LaRocco because obviously I grew up in that time. I was racing myself young and in the 90s and watched all these tapes. I used to watch all the Motorvision tapes and all this stuff. And anyway, over and over. And I remember one, I think LaRocco sort of jumped down the inside of you because I remember the interview afterwards. And he sort of like landed all on your arm and took you out. And you literally just got up and just pretty much booted him in the back. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh,
First time that his kid is in my car, okay? Pick the boys up. We're going mountain biking or whatever we were doing.
Yeah. Oh, have we lost him? I think we just lost him now. Hold on. Have we lost him?
I'm back.
You're back.
Sorry, I had a call come in.
That's
so,
all right.
So the boys are in the back of the car. And Jack goes, Hey, Dad, didn't you kick his dad or something one time? It's like, yes, but I'm gonna have to add some context to it.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like, and they're just laughing. They think it's the funniest thing ever. They think we're both idiots now, I'm sure, but they're at that age where they're really smart and we're really dumb.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, that was a crazy night because I was San Diego 93, I think it was, maybe 94, one of those. I had a really crappy week. I was sick, but I got a good start. I think McGrath was out front probably. Mike Craig had been out front. He was working his way backwards. Now I'm looking at getting a podium, right? I'm just thinking I'm going to get a podium, get some points, make some money. And it was super muddy that night. And it was just very sort of one line. And Mike was kicking ass. He was faster than me, but he couldn't get past. And he got frustrated and kind of just went for a move there was no room. And he lands on me. And I remember the left side of his handlebars, like his left grip, literally landed on the back of my neck and like pinched me against the bike, and we crashed. And I was just totally reacting. I got up and I'm just like, mother, I kicked him in the ribs, like as hard as I could. I kicked him in the ribs with my motocross boots. Now he's a tough dude. Okay. So after that, I go to ride off the track and I see his dad, who was his mechanic. His dad's sitting there yelling at me, and I get in his dad's face and I'm pointing my finger like this. His dad grabs me by the hand and like twists my grip, my hand, and yanks me off of my motorcycle into like a big water puddle. Okay. His dad, which is his mechanic. So now I'm getting into it with Big Mike also.
Yeah, I remember.
People are jumping in, the main event's going on, and I'm laying in the water. Right.
Well.
some people break it up. So I ride up to the Yamaha truck. My mechanic, Steve Butler, was there, right? So he rides up the tunnel with me. And so I go inside the Yamaha truck and nobody's back there, right? It's just Steve and I. And I'm in the Yamaha rig and I'm taking my shit off, you know, just doing one of these. And in walks Mike. He's like, "You fucking kicked me, man." And I remember thinking to myself, this is the part of the night where you're going to get punched. Like, hey, you did kick the guy. I'm like, I remember thinking to myself, I got to just stand in there. I got to just take this. Like, he's going to punch me right now. And we argued about it, whatever. And AMA called us into the trailer after. Who was it? Roy Jansen or Ron Crandall maybe was the official, the late Ron Crandall. And they were, you know, giving us a talk, and they're like, "Hey, so what's the problem between you two?" And both of us are like, "No problem. Everything's cool." Mike's like, "Everything's cool." And they're like, "No problem. All good here." And they're like, "Okay. All right. You guys get out of here," you know, type of thing.
That was brilliant. Because I even remember the interview of him, and he goes, "Oh, Jeff kicked you in the back," and he's like, I didn't even feel it. I didn't even know he did that.
Yeah, he said he kicked like a girl or something.
That's it. I remember him saying that. Something like that.
Dude, I kicked it pretty hard. And it's like, we probably
definitely knew.
It couldn't have been good, but yeah.
You definitely knew.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting is you kind of move past that, you know. And I mean, hell, we're both. He's probably a year older than me, so he's probably 52 now, and I don't know, just young guys going after the same thing, you know. Shit happens.
It's nice that you're friends and chilled and all that now. It's all good, isn't it? It's all good in the hood later on. There's Dave King here by the looks of it. He's wrote underneath. I'm glad he did, because I can't see his name. He's put, the saying is, "You never meet your heroes," is so untrue. Jeff is a total professional and a gentleman. And the voice of Supercross, Dave King from the VMXDN.
Yes. Spent some time with Dave down in Majora. We sat around one afternoon having a good chat, catching up about stuff. So, yep. Mm-hmm.
Is he trying to get you to Fox Hill? Is he trying to get you to Fox Hill yet for Jeff next year?
Always, yeah. I need to get me some vintage bikes built so I can come on over and do all these races, you know.
That'd be sick, because that's my hometown. I'd love to see you there. That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
I heard the
cool.
track's amazing.
Yeah, sort of very what you would class as probably French track, Jeff, with those massive steep hills and all that, up and downs. But yeah, it was very good. The one that they've just had, the first one there at Fox
Probably
Hill.
nice and like soft and loamy, no stones.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe. Oh no, you're in the worst household to talk about Fox Hill as well. Jamie Dove. Oh no, he ruins Fox Hill. Don't let him do it.
Yeah.
Don't let him do it. Right, so then, Jeff, how did you get into motocross, and how old were you when you first started, and what sort of bike did you first get? What was your memories of that?
Yeah, so what's interesting is from what I've been told, my first time riding a motorcycle was on this baseball field in Independence, Missouri, which is like Kansas City, Missouri, where I grew up, where I was born, spent the first part of my life. Little Indian 50, little kind of like a PW 50 size. It was probably a little bigger than what a PW was, but a little like yellow tank with red like lettering and stuff. The Indian 50 was the bike. Yeah, so 70 had to be spring of 75, I guess it was. I was 4 years old, and my dad's a race car builder, really successful race car builder back in the 60s and 70s and all that stuff, and then in the late 60s, when Edison Dye started bringing all these Husqvarna motorcycles over to the West Coast, and the Japanese manufacturers started building these motocross bikes, the sport really took off, right? Like off-road riding and motocross became really, really popular. And my dad and his buddies, that was their hobbies. They'd build race cars during the week and take the motor home in a big trailer and go camping and go trail riding and all that. That was the early part of our life. My older brother rode. My little sister, somewhere along the line, had like an ATC 70, but in late 77, my older brother Brian decided he was going to go do the local motocross, local Friday night motocross. So he did a couple of those, and then the spring of 78, that's when it was just on. We just started, and next thing you know, we just were going to all the races and these regional qualifiers, and then, rode big amateur finals race, the GNC finals, which would have been huge back in the day. Rode that in 79, and by 1980, and sponsorship by factory Yamaha, and it was just, the rest is history, as they say.
I literally just got a text of Jamie while you was talking then. He just put the worst track in the world. Don't listen to that, Jeff. Don't have that, honestly.
Yeah.
I say to him, my mate Stefan Everett says it was his favourite. So.
Well, Stefan's tough that way, man. He could ride a lot of variety of tracks. He was a hell of a racer. Stefan's another guy that he and I we didn't mix well back in those days. No, we're great now. I mean, we're really like, I had him on the Fox show that I did back in 2019 or 2018, whatever it was, for Fox Radio. Yeah, there's Manjimup, Australia, 92. Right after that picture, the next turn, if you took another photo, it would have been the two of us on the ground. He came to the inside of me and took me out, and I laid on top of him. Got Remy Van Ries goes by. We both get up in the same exact position that we fell in. But, I was on my way to becoming the 125 champion in America. He was winning the 125 World Motocross that year, I believe. And especially at that age, man, it's like you want the bragging rights. Like you've got these egos that are starting to blossom, and you're out to just win the world, and prove to everyone that you're like the guy, and that doesn't always mix well, but it's great now. Like Stefan and I are, whenever I'm over at a race, I, always make time to go see him. We were in Germany for one of the GPs a few years back, and I was doing that studio show for Fox Racing. Well, that was when he had just released his gin, right? The S72 gin.
Yeah.
So he invites me over to the motorhome, right? Because Liam's racing like EMX 125 or something at the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Comes over, so it's like, okay, this is how you're going to make this gin and tonic. Exactly. And he's super into it, right? Right? Super into it. So he's mixing it up, and his gin was fantastic. Like, I haven't had the vodka yet, but I don't drink gin like normally, but it was very floral, very flavorful, and just so here we are now, it's 25 years after that photo, and we're sitting around the motorhome drinking gin, having laughs, having a good time, and taking these walks down memory lane, and then looking towards the future and talking about our children, because my daughter and his son are the same age. And so you just
funny how it all works, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was really interesting. I remember his last race was here at Motocross of Nations in 06 at Matterley. And obviously things had like simmered down between us by then. I'd been retired for 7 years and whatnot. And I felt really motivated to do something for him, and I bought a bottle of Dom Perignon or something, signed it to him, congratulations on a legendary career, blah blah blah, and gave it to him after the race, and it was kind of like, like a show of respect. And
nice.
In that picture from 1992 from Australia, neither one of us were showing much respect because we both wanted to show everybody that we were the best guy. So it's nice to move from those days to where we are now, and develop a friendship with somebody that was, kind of, a rival for so many years. So it's interesting that way, how life has its twists and turns,
Yeah, even with the Morocco thing as well. It's very cool. Very cool to hear. We wouldn't know that. We wouldn't know that without getting to speak to that.
Yeah, right.
Very cool. Right. I'm going to let you know about Pat. So Pat Stott is, I'm sure you've seen, he's done quite a lot of very cool logos. He does the 90s motocross on Instagram that a lot of people know about.
Yes. Yep.
He did this one of you, which is another beautiful one.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, he knows everything to do with the 90s. He's very knowledgeable. And he's just got a question here. So he's just put, what's Jeff's thoughts on the teams and the World Supercross Network having a mic stroke radio system between the rider and a team member like they do in F1? It's very insightful and entertaining in F1. In my opinion, the first moto-related series to use them would open fans.
Yeah, so
interesting.
Thanks for the question, Pat, and appreciate all the artwork you've done over the years. It's fantastic. As far as the radio communication, I'm going to learn a lot more about that when I get down to Cardiff on Wednesday and Thursday, Friday time. But the promoters of Supercross Global and the New World Supercross definitely are investing in taking technologies and things like this to the fans and creating a better broadcast and platform than what's ever been done before. I know we're gonna have some onboard cameras and stuff like that. The radio communication thing is an interesting deal because it's like kind of it's like, do you want, as a writer, it's like, do I want to be told things while I'm writing for any possible distraction? Is there anything as a writer that in a short Supercross race that you can relay back to your team that makes any difference? It'd be interesting to see how it works out. For me, it's totally unknown. It's not a direct parallel that you would see with F1. There's not the need for it like you do in a 3-hour NASCAR race and things like this. So it'd be interesting to see how it evolves and how it gets used. I have heard some names that are up for trying it in these races, but I haven't heard anything definite. But there's definitely going to be some new technologies and things that we do with the broadcast that should just give the viewers more insight than what they've ever gotten through a dirt bike, Supercross, motocross broadcast.
Interesting. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. I got Wes Carlisle here. He's another 90s man. He's got a Facebook 90s Super Evo Motocross as well. It's a very cool group. He's just put, hi Jeff, you were obviously defending titles on the 250 through 97 onwards. Do you think you would have had anything for Ricky in the 125s around that time? Thank you, Wes 90s.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Wes. Yeah, great. I mean, of course. I mean, Ricky, but all I had to do was wait for him to crash. We talk about this all the time. He can go ride as fast as he wants.
He used to go down.
Ricky and I were really tight. You know what would people would come up to me during those years because he was so fast on his 125, right?
Yeah.
He was just crazy, and every now and then he'd end up on his head, but he was just going for it, right?
Yeah, flat out.
And they'd come up and go, "Oh, Carmichael's lap time was a 2:02, and yours was only a 2:03." I said, "He's not even in my class, so I'm not even going to worry about that. Like, you want to jump on a 250, get in this class. I don't have to worry about that until he's in my class, right?" But he definitely had that ability to have that just raw speed that was pretty awesome. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like there was about a 1.5-year stretch where I feel like I was the best rider in the world. So, yeah, I wouldn't be a man if I said I would have given it up to him.
100%.
No way. He's going down.
Either
way, he's going down. Whether I take him out or he crashes on his own,
yeah.
Carmichael was going down. You can quote me on that. You hear that, Ricky?
That's brilliant. Simon's just put, as Jamie Dobb and Paul Malin were the biggest and greatest rivals in the schoolboys, who was yours?
Well, at that age, when you're younger, it seems like there's always somebody new, you know. It starts out kind of locally, had your local guy, and then we started going racing down in Oklahoma and Texas. And I'm telling you, there wasn't just one, there wasn't just one rider, you know. There were multiple kids that you have to deal with, and maybe England's such a smaller country than all of America, but it was like every year there was guys. I mean, the Tommy Newmans and Jason Schultz and Jason Upshaw and Jason somebody else from Texas and Billy Whitley, and then up in Oklahoma had Tommy Newman and some guys. Then Denny Stevenson, of course, who became one of my dearest friends. Denny and I, kind of grew up together. Chad Pedersen, I had Buddy Antonez on the West Coast. I mean, there were guys like Jimmy Button. I mean, there wasn't just one in where we were. There were a number of riders that really were your rivals.
Got some cool pictures of here.
Yeah, Damon Bradshaw back there.
Is that
This
Bradshaw?
was yeah, that was Ponca City in 1986. I still had one more year after this on the mini bikes, and this was the final in the 80 stock class. Back when you used to have the stock, classes and all that. So we rode a stock, modified, and then a super mini, or 105 at the time. And this was the main event. And what was so significant about this specific race is that I beat Bradshaw and all the other. I was still a year away from being like the oldest kid. And Bradshaw was the guy, and there were Mouse McCoy, Lil Thompson, just a number of riders that were there that day. And I wasn't really supposed to win this class. Yeah. And what was the teams and the manufacturers coveted the 80 stock class because, of course, the bike was in a fairly stock form. So it showed off, it really represented the performance of the production machine, right? You get in the modified classes, all of a sudden you got your, like our company, and Gary Emig Racing, and your Pro Circuits and your DMCs and all the modification class companies, they coveted the mod classes. But the manufacturers like Kawasaki, for them to advertise that I won the 80 stock class, 80 expert stock on a KX80 was like, that was it. Like, this was the biggest win of the year. And I knew that it was significant because that was the first race after I got done with the race that my dad was crying tears of joy. Like, I knew by his response that this one was different. There was something special about, for me, I'm just a kid, I'm winning a race. But this one was a big one. Yeah, it was a legendary place to race. I mean, I had some big crashes there. 2 years in a row, knocked myself out. But I've also I had some of my biggest wins in my career. Now, Ponca, around this time, this was 86. So Loretta Lynn's, the amateur national, AMA amateur national at Loretta's, was still in its infancy. And Loretta's was big. But this year, Ponca was still the big one, And that was a big win for me. I know exactly where that's at. That's Columbia, Missouri, a track we called Finger Lakes State Park. Love that place. Hard pack, blue groove, some cool jumps. And I thought this double coming out of this turn, I was one of the few 80s. Me and Chad Pedersen and a couple guys would jump it, and not many of the other 80 riders would even jump it. I felt like I was flat right there. Barely even got the bike leaned over, Yeah.
So Jeff, this is where it all started with the number 47, I'm guessing, and obviously, because I was going to ask you about numbers on a specific race number, why you had it and why you liked it, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So one of the years I was assigned number 47 at I think it was Loretta's, maybe like 83 or something, and I had and I just kind of stuck with it. That just became my number and kind of iconic now. And after I retired from my professional career and I was an amateur again, it's like, well, I had to pick a number, you know? And the first year that I retired, when I got hurt, I was going to race 2000. My permanent number, that was the first year that we had permanent numbers. It was going to be number 3, but I never actually raced with it. And so once I started riding again and doing little bits of vet class racing, I chose number 47, and this has kind of stuck with me.
What sort of age were you, Jeff, when you sort of thought to yourself, this could be a career, I could be? Can you remember that you thought, right, I could do this?
That win at Ponca City in '86 was where that's when it really set in, like, okay, like something's happening here. I noticed by my dad's reaction, the reaction of Team Green and all the sponsors and stuff. And then in '87, I really did have a pretty good season as an 80 expert rider. '87 was the first year that Kawasaki came out with a big wheel 80, which we now call a Super Mini. And I won every moto on the Super Mini that year, and that's when, okay, there's a pro career is in the future. You could see some light at the end of that tunnel that, hey, there's going to be something bright there.
Got some cool cool older ones here.
Mm-hmm. That'd have been I maybe like one of those. So that's Las Vegas, the World Mini Grand Prix in '89. I had broken my elbow a few months before that, and then I came back to this race, and I think I won every race, maybe every moto in the 125 and 250 expert class then. So things were definitely coming around. Yeah. Loretta's '89. That would have been my last amateur race there. So yeah. No podium. Ponca '89. So definitely really, I mean, I had some great competition, but most of the amateur nationals in '89, I dominated my classes. Like, lots of competition, but had some pretty good rides.
Was that always cool for you guys? Like when you're on the front of the magazines when you were younger, like that? Did you always...
this was big.
Yeah.
And what's ironic about that is I don't have the right jersey on for those pants. So this was late in the day on Sunday, and the jersey that went with those pink pants, that like bright, super Dayglow pink and green, it was like a white jersey with all this Dayglow stuff on it, and it had gotten all muddy. So I wore the wrong jersey with those pants, and it turns out it's my first big cover shot of my entire career.
Got the wrong shirt on.
Got the wrong shirt on, yeah.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, it's cool to be on
the amateur days. The amateur kids these days are well taken care of.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. 1990, one of the pro motocross events.
So what riders did you look up to and idolize yourself when you were young, Jeff? And did you ever get to race any of your idols or heroes at all?
Okay, so Lee, here's the absolute greatest thing I think about my entire racing career. So, we didn't have YouTube and videos and Instagram. Yeah. In my early days, we didn't have a VCR, right? And so the only time that you saw your heroes was in magazines, right? Cycle News would come out on Mondays or Tuesdays, but you'd have the magazine, and it was just a photo, right? A photo picture tells 1,000 words type of thing. Yeah. And I would just sit there and just look through these magazines, and just fantasize about being a professional motorcycle racer, right? It was just like, and in my early days, especially, like, Brock Glover was my guy. Like, I don't know what it was about his style. And keep in mind, it's not like you're watching a video. You're looking at a picture, and the kid in me is like, I would go out to the track, and in my mind, I'm trying to recreate what I think the picture looked like. So my style and everything, and like going, you remember that epic photo of Jeff Ward in probably '84 Supercross where he's jumping into a turn. He's got his leg out.
Yeah. Setting
You know what I'm
himself
talking
up.
about?
Yeah.
That photo, like I remember going and like practicing these little jumps, and I'd like stick my leg out, like, oh, this is what Wardy was doing, you know?
Yeah.
And my early heroes were Brock Glover. Then once I went to Team Green, it was like Jeff Ward was the guy. You know, the Dogger was awesome, and RJ, and you know, Bailey. I mean,
So
all
many.
those guys. You know, those guys were my absolute heroes. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, the coolest thing, that the greatest thing that my career has awarded me is that these guys are now my friends.
Mm.
Like my heroes are now my friends and my equals, right?
Mm.
I've got just about every one of those guys' cell phone number in my phone right now. You know, we're friends, and it's like, wait, these guys, they were godlike to, you know, little Jeffy.
Yeah.
And now I have these incredible friendships, you know, amazing amount of respect. And that's like the greatest reward that, you know, 12-year-old kid, that's the greatest reward I could have ever got.
Yeah.
That,
Super cool.
and I wanted to have a nickname on the back of my pants, right?
Yeah.
The guys, right, because they didn't have like butt logos back then. They had letters, right? It actually spelled something out, right? There wasn't really any artwork. It was just a name, you know?
Yeah.
And I always thought that the nickname was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, you think about, well, where do nicknames come from? You know, it's like nobody chooses their own nicknames. Your buddies give you your nicknames. Your nickname chooses you. You don't choose your nickname, right? You can't do that. And, you know, around 1990, Denny Stevenson was at my house on the phone, like sitting there doodling this thing, and he doodled this thing that said Jeffro, this little piece of artwork, and then it ended up on the refrigerator. You know, you in your early 20s, you and your buddies, everyone gets a nickname or two or three or four. You know, everyone's got crazy nicknames, and that's just kind of culture of young people. And mine ends up being Fro, and then Fro Daddy, and Fro, you know, Fro this, Fro that. You know, I had an ex-girlfriend used to call me Fro Fish because we met at the lake, and she said she caught herself a fro fish, and like, you know, and so, you know, you end up with these names, and what's crazy is when I go to the races now, I mean, yeah, there you go, Jeffro, right? That was one of the first pants right there when it was 93-ish. And I go to the races now, and I mean, not many people call me Jeff. Like average fans, everyone calls me Fro.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. Like, you know, Ralph never calls me Jeff, and until we're at the beginning of a broadcast, and he has to you know, introduce us.
Yeah.
You know, but everyone calls me Fro. So,
do you think you'd even turn around if someone shouted Jeff now?
yeah, it's like I'm looking around to see where Jeff's at. You know?
Yeah, who's that guy?
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting is that's actually my middle name. Jeffrey's my middle name. My first name's Cam, you know, C-A-M. But go by my middle name.
Love that. I've
Little
just
factoid there.
I had the Jeff Perrott from the UK here. He's the UK Jeffro. Everyone calls him Jeffro. Yeah, exactly. He's put, who would win in a straight up whiskey shot drinking competition, Fro or Danny Stevenson?
Well, that'd be a tough one. We both have definitely earned some trophies in that regards one time or another, but hopefully these days we're backing off the whiskey a little bit, you know. I do like some Jameson though, but I tell everybody I got rules to my Jameson drinking, right?
Okay.
So I don't drink it while the sun's up. Okay. It has to be dark. The sun has to go down.
Evening.
You can't drink before the sun goes down.
Okay.
And then on the other side is if the sun's coming up, you got to stop. See how that works?
Yeah, I see how that works.
Got to keep it right.
Yeah,
no brown till the sun goes down.
Brilliant. Kev's put, does your boy race, Jeff?
No, he's a little footballer. Well, he ain't little.
Oh,
He's about half
okay.
inch taller than I am now. He's not even 15
Yeah.
yet. Yeah,
Wow.
he's my daughter Presley's 18, Jagger's 14, almost 15. You know, we had PW 50 and 110 and stuff around the house, and where we lived when the kids were younger, all kinds of like horse trails, like what do they call it, equestrian. So it was
Yeah,
an
yeah.
equestrian
Equestrian,
neighborhood, right?
yeah.
So you could ride all around. So we'd ride all the horse trails on the bikes, and both kids learned how to ride, but it just wasn't their thing. And so
Fair enough.
I was actually having a conversation today, having breakfast. Jamie and I met with a couple of of football coaches. One with
Yeah.
Darby County, another one that
Yeah.
does some independent coaching. Used to play in the Premier League, and we were talking about youth sports and that sort of like thing, like the push. Like do you or encouragement, push your kids into something, and I was very clear that I just wasn't gonna. If Jagger wanted to ride dirt bikes and eventually race, and if that was something that he was passionate about, then great, we're all into it. But if he didn't, that's fine too. I'm very aware of the risk involved in our sport, and I don't think that it's someone that you really can force any child to do. You shouldn't, in my mind. And one thing led to another, and then he wants to play football. So, yeah.
That's cool. I got a nice one here of YouTube. I've actually got a picture of one of these, actually. He's put, was really true, all that image of Shift and the girls in the jacuzzi and the crazy life and all that stuff around the 97 Supercross Championship.
Yeah. Now, obviously, that photo was staged for the Shift ad. Okay. It was.
Yeah.
But the reality was, that those were all the boyfriends and everybody involved with those women were all inside of the suite at the MGM Grand in Vegas. They were all inside partying it up. We were outside staging the photo. But yeah, that was all of our friends. And, I mean, normally I might not have been the only man in the hot tub, but, that a situation like that really wasn't. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But that was a Pete Fox idea. Pete Fox and Todd Covey, when we first created Shift, is that we were going to do things to really shake things up. It just becomes, it's so iconic for the 90s, or at least, this thing. So the hot tub was the ad that ran in Racer X, Motocross Action, and Roland Hines, who was the publisher at Motocross Action, which was a huge magazine at the time also, they wouldn't run the hot tub ad. So this was the secondary ad of the limousine. And this was all true to life. This photo was taken, we were heading to Chaparral for a big autograph signing Friday night before the Glen Helen Pro Motocross. And that was a real thing. I look at that and I go, you look completely silly right there. Green sequin shirt. And that's just how it was. The 90s in motocross was like what the 60s were to rock and roll. Things were just kind of crazy and out there.
Very good. I got a few of these cool little things. I got there's another one.
Yep, the Shift leisure suits. Yes. I've got a bunch of those in storage somewhere. Most of them have Captain and Coke, Jack and Coke stains on the sleeves and all that. I've got them somewhere, but yeah, we never actually sold those. That was the plan. We were going to custom make them, and nobody got one unless you were part of our our inner circle. But yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it was great. Shift has been such an important part of my career and my image, and the things that the freedom that we have with the Shift brand to just do whatever feels right and to kind of, push the limits. And I don't know, in 97, we thought leisure suits were the way to go.
And pretty much how you described about your heroes and idols when you were looking at the mags, that's how we saw in the UK, or you guys in America in the 90s, with all the amazing kit and the spray job helmets and all these brilliant like ads like this. This is what we all remember. Obviously, you guys as well was super cool as well.
Yeah.
That's another cool one.
Yeah, it was one of my first ads with would have been I was late 89 right there going into the 1990 season. So this was right at the end of my amateur career. I literally, it's crazy. I can remember that day we were down in San Diego shooting those photos. And I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Wow.
And that's what's crazy is, you know, I've talked to so many athletes where they're like, they can remember riding certain races. Like they can bring up those images and ride a lap at a certain track. Right.
Yeah.
But when you're married and the wife asks you to stop by and get cat food on the way home, you can't seem to remember that. See how this works, Lee? I remember a race from 1989.
Yeah.
I could, damn it, I was supposed to get cat food.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true.
Memory. You know what? Are you married?
Yeah. Just literally got married 2 weeks ago as well for the second time, obviously. But
oh wow, you didn't have enough fun the first time. You're gonna do it again. Second
exactly,
moto.
Yeah. Exactly.
Second moto gives you the overall.
Second moto, mate. Yeah.
Right,
but that's exactly the same thing. She's like, how the hell can you like speak to your mate about 1994, your motocross and that, and a specific race, exactly what happened, but you can't remember these things.
You're like, did you bring milk home? No, I forgot the toilet paper too. Shit. You know. Yeah.
And this as well. Remember the cereals, as well. Even the cereal.
Yeah, I mean that was shooting Fresno Smooth. I mean, I was the Supercross champion. You know, I just won the Pro Motocross Championship for the second year in a row. This was out when you drive into the track at Steel City. We had had the Kawasaki rig and everything set up right there to the entrance to the track. We filmed this the day before the race. You know, it's like I was on cruise control then. I went and won both motos. It's like I didn't even practice that week. Championship was won. We went to the lake all week long, come do this shoot, and then final race of the year, still went out and won both motos. You're just like, man, it's crazy when you're in the zone, you know?
So you got some, obviously some cool, your own products and everything, Jeff. Can you tell us a bit about your products and everything you got and your own companies?
Yeah, well, so there's the JE logo. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but that's what that is. There's a J and an E in there. Yeah. My good friend and former business partner Andy Taylor created that. Taylor Creative, and he's the guy that does all the amazing ads and everything for the FMF brand.
Yep.
And so, yeah, when we started working on it and kind of had this idea that I wanted to make a product, and one thing led to another, and was, okay, well, what about a grip, you know? And then I started asking around, well, what companies would want to do a collab with me on a grip? I had been with Renthal and Pro Taper my entire career.
Yep.
And then somebody mentioned this ODI brand, and I'm like, oh, I had heard of that. That's like a bicycle company, right? And so I go on their website, and you know, like I think that I said info before, but I think it's like sales@odigrips.com. I cold emailed them, hey, this is Jeff Emig. I'm looking to talk to somebody about doing a collab product, and Kevin Stevens hits me back, and we start working on that. And then we started working on some concepts for what the grip would be. They sold me on the V2 lock-on system, which I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Now it's been like it's the greatest grip system out there for motocross bikes and off-road. And then Andy Taylor and I kept working on the logo, and so worked on all of that stuff, the icon and the Emig logo and all that. And that was, man, it was 2013 when we released the first Emig grip.
Very cool.
So
that's very cool.
Yeah, it was end of November in 2013. That original Emig grip is now discontinued, and I haven't talked about it publicly yet, but the second generation of that grip is going to be out shortly, like pretty quick. Like we're almost done with it. Yeah. Nice. So we'll have the original Emig, kind of a 2.0 or like a second generation, along with the Emig Pro. Yeah.
Nice. There you go, people. Get on that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Beautiful.
was actually working on colorways just this last week of all things.
Good job.
So
Good job.
yeah, going to try to come up with some cool colorways for everyone.
Very nice.
This I'm
very
really
nice.
stoked because when we did the original Emig grip, how it's got like the color transition to where each of those letters and the icon is all it's all a contrasting color.
Mhm.
That the tooling, like the molds that make the grip really way too complicated, way too difficult. And there were some issues with that grip. I know we sold, a million of them, but the next generation of the original Emig grip, I know what I'm doing now, right? It's been
That's
about
beautiful.
10 years,
Yeah.
9 years,
Yeah.
and I think of a lot of different, not just what the grip looks like, but really conscious of the feel and how the knurling pattern, the size of it, all of that sort of stuff, the compounds that go into it. And then also on the production side, they say time is money, right? The original Emig grip took a long time, like when it's on the machine, the cycle time was really long. So if you've got a day that the Emig grip is on the machine to be made, well, how many grips can you make in that 8-hour shift, let's say, right?
Mhm.
Well, the original Emig grip takes a long time, and so does the Emig Pro. So the next one, it's like, okay, well, how do we get that cycle time down to where we're like,
Banging them out.
boom,
Yeah.
we're getting those grips out there, right? The more grips you can make in 8 hours, the more grips you can sell, the more money you make, all that. So
Yeah.
the more
Yeah.
grips you
Yeah.
can get to the customer, all of our
So you're
happy
on.
customers out there.
Sounds like you're on it then. It sounds like it's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Like I said, we're just finishing up some colorways and stuff now.
Excited to see them coming out, then that'd be cool.
Yeah.
What was your? I see a couple of people have wrote that in my comments on the side as well. I was just saying, now, what was your favourite race bike during your career, Jeff? Because I remember you went Kawasaki, Yamaha, then Yamaha again. Wasn't that pretty much?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly think that KX250 that we started developing in '96 on through '97, and then the bike in '98 was really fantastic. My only regret is that in the '98 Supercross Championship, I just couldn't get it together, and had a terrible Supercross Championship. Came back to win some motocross races in the summer, but came up short in the championship. I broke my thumb with a couple of races to go. Broke my thumb in practice, never crashed. Rolled my hand forward, bent my thumb back, broke my thumb. This is at Millville, '98. I win both motos by like a significant distance, like dominated. And then my thumb was broke, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to have surgery." It's like, I just won the race. Like, we got to work on it. So the '98 KX250, we really had it was really perfected. And the problem was in '99 for the '99 bike, they went and changed the chassis. They tweaked the chassis. They changed the lower end of the bike. That bike had a really heavy flywheel, or 96.78, so it had a lot of weight on the outside on the flywheel. And so they took and put the weight into the crankcase, and made the flywheel smaller, and it changed the way that the power band was and the power delivery and all that. And we had to work through that in '99. I mean, I talk a lot of shit about that '99 bike, but probably a little bit embellishing a little more than what I should. But we as professional racers, you're there to develop the machines also. And '99 was really tough, but '98 was brilliant. Yeah, fantastic bike.
I was going to talk to you obviously about the motocross the nation. It's got quite a few pictures to show you as well. But Tim's brought it up here, put in questions. As a Brit, the '94 Donations was a massive thing. Did you know much about Kurt Nichol, Rob Herring, and Paul Malin coming into that weekend? And how impressed were you with Mailer on the 125?
Yeah, well, thanks for the question, Tim. There's some memories that I just really want to relive again. That's amazing. Thanks, buddy. Really, honestly, one of the most difficult defeats of my career. I really felt like that I should have won both of my motos, or been the first 125, if you will. Track wasn't totally foreign to me. I mean, it was really fast. My bike was set up for a little bit tighter tracks. Malin rode the Rinaldi 125 that weekend.
That was quick, wasn't it? That was quick.
And Paul was awesome. You know, what you don't really realize at the time, but it's like, you know, grassy hillside, hard pack, rocky. It was rocky as shit, dude. It was bad.
Mm.
The 500 Roost was incredible. And, you know, I watched both those races back on video. I mean, I started in front of Paul both races. He passed me both motos. Now, I challenged him at the end, but, you know, my teammates didn't have great motos, Kodrowski and Larocco. They didn't have great rides, but if I had won both my motos, Team USA would have won the event. And so I really felt I took a lot of responsibility for that myself. Like, I should have been better, and I just wasn't. And on that day, I mean, Paul just rode. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, the first moto, you watch him go through the pack. He had just no care at all. He just, like, he was killing it, right? And Rob and Kurt just put in fantastic rides also. They deserved it, you know, and that was, I took that one really hard though. Racer X ran a photo. I didn't think anybody was looking, but after the podium celebrations were done, I walk out kind of into the middle of the track, kind of overlooking that valley, the races at Roggenburg in Switzerland. And I sat on these, like, I don't know, I sat on these rocks or some sort of thing, and I overlooked the track, and I just had this emotion hits me. Yeah, that was that same day. The emotion hits me that it was like I felt like I let everybody down, and then it hit me, holy shit, we're on the first Team USA team that didn't win. After 13 straight years of winning, we got to go home not winning the event. And of course the level of excellence for Team USA at that time was incredible. And I just felt like I let myself down. I felt like I let the team down. And I just felt like that I should have been better that day. And I wasn't. And I literally broke down and you know, was in tears and was super emotional. And I think Davey Coombs or somebody caught it. Somebody's got a photo out there of it, and somebody came up and, you know, consoled me. But I really took that defeat hard. And keep in mind, we were second, you know. But that day, the Brits were they were the best, and they earned it. It was definitely, you know, it was just a track and everything that was just meant for those guys, and they performed, and we didn't.
Well, I was thinking about you today because I did recently acquire those free shirts of the nations of that winning. So I was dying to hang them up, but I thought I'll wait until this is over. So I even thought about you.
Nice.
I didn't even hang them up. I didn't hang them up. I didn't think, oh God, I don't want to rub it in.
Hey, I'm good now. I'm good now with a lot of therapy.
Yeah, look.
I was able to work through it. There you go. Yeah, I saw that a lot that day. I didn't see the front. I don't even know what the front of Malin's jersey looks like. I only know what the back looks like. I chased him around for 25 minutes each moto after he passed me.
So I didn't hang them up anyway, Jeff. So I did think about you.
Thank you.
There you go, mate. Right, where was I? I was going to show you. So let's get some more happier memories of the Motocross Nations. Anyway, you had a lot of them as well.
96. Yeah, last couple of weeks when I was throwing out some Instagram posts, kind of taking a little walk down memory lane, and so I started with 92 and worked my way to 97. And some of these races I caught on YouTube. This was the only time that I got to ride the 500. And because McGrath and I were locked in the battle for the 250 championship, I didn't even ride it until the week before the event, if I remember correctly. They had the bike set up. It's basically the same bike had gone to the nations for 3, 4, 5 years, you know, just update the suspension components and things like that. So it was great. I mean, that big downhill quad, Dob and I were talking about that today, measured out a little over 120 feet, you know, and for a blind downhill It was a quad at first. That was actually on a racetrack, not like you're out in the hills, free riding. That was a big jump for its time.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much hang time to it. Yeah, it was
Crazy.
cool.
Crazy.
Yeah. That would have been 94 Motocross of Nations with McGrath and Michael Rocco. Man, that'd be a good race to watch back. The third moto was pretty intense. Kudrowski had to really fight for the position for us to win, to get the points right. But do you back to that 93 race?
Mm-hmm.
They're on the counter out there. What people might not remember, but from the 93 race, after 2 motos, Team USA was not looking great. Bartolini, I believe, had won the first 125 race. I don't know what the 500 score was. The second race was the 125 250, and Puzar had won the moto. So Puzar had a first. Bartolini had a first and after the second moto, I think I won the second. I was the first 125 in the second race. But Bartolini had a pretty good day. And I don't know who was riding the 500, but they were going into the final moto leading points. They had low points. Italy did.
Yeah,
okay.
So it was all still there.
We were working, I was on Yamaha. We were working out of Rinaldi's rig and Rinaldi's race shop. Okay. We had gone to his race shop the week before. We were going there after the race.
Yep.
Puzar and I were working out of the same rig. Okay. I'm done for the day. My 2 motos are done. So I'm just a supporter. So I'm in the Parc Fermé, right? In the staging area. And remember, you had to be in the staging area by a certain time.
Yeah.
Got to be in there. They closed the gate. It's done. Well, his bike and everything's in there. And Puzar's walking up. And he was just an absolute rock star at the time, right? People are stopping him, and he's trying to get there. He's about 50 feet away from the gate. The official's standing there looking at a clock. Clock turns whatever time it needed to be. He closes the gate.
Hey.
And we're all standing there whoever our team manager was at that time, Keith McCarty from Yamaha, and we're all like, hey, Puzar didn't make it into the staging in time. He walks up, and we could see it. He walks up, and he tries to open the gate. And the guy, we're in Switzerland, the guy's like, and they don't let him race.
No way.
Go back and find the stories.
Go back and read
the stories about Motocross of Nation 93.
Yeah.
They don't let him race. They were leading points, low points, and he had just whooped everybody in the first moto of the 250 125 race.
Oh my God.
So now we win. Then I have to go back to the Yamaha rig with Rinaldi and all their people who had somebody fucked up.
Yeah, they're
right?
fuming.
And what's interesting is I remember reading or seeing something afterwards is Michele Rinaldi, it was quite embarrassing, but he took full responsibility for the situation. I mean, Michele's absolutely amazing. I seen him last month at Majora. He's such an amazing man and champion and leader and all that. He wouldn't have been around all this time. But that day he said, look, Puzar's my rider. It's my responsibility to make sure he was there, and I didn't. And we didn't get him there in time. And they didn't win. We ended up going on to win. And then after the race, the next day, we drive back down to Parma in Italy, back down to the race shop, where they're all doom and gloom because this big mistake.
Yeah.
And they lost the nations. And we go back with the trophy, like, oh, yay.
Yeah, it's sort of
you're like
awkward,
trying to
awkward.
keep it kind of cool, you're like,
Oh, mental.
Yeah, it's
Unreal. I didn't know that. That's
crazy
mad.
times, right?
Madness. That's
Yeah.
a cool one. I remember that. That was a crazy old big old track as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Got Sverpek,
Yeah, something like that,
Slovakia
wasn't it?
there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
An amazing photo. Somebody was taking photos. There were two big American flags. One was at this tabletop right by the finish. I've got
Mm.
one of the pictures in black and white and one in color. But this one here was just really cool. That was really iconic. I think I posted that last week. Really, really neat. That was a tough loss for us. The Belgians won that day. And we had a pretty good team with Lamson and Ryan Hughes and myself, but another second. Yeah.
Here's a win.
Yeah, 92, the first one was we were all rookies. I mean, Roy Jansen had never been the team manager, and Billy Lyles in the middle there rode the 500. Mike LaRocca rode the 250, and that was a really proud moment because that's what we were known as being the B team. You know,
I remember
everybody
that,
they
yeah.
had won so many races, the guys started to get to where they didn't want to go. Stanton, he said this one of his biggest regrets was not riding that year, but Kodrowski didn't want to go. Bradshaw, none of the top American guys wanted to go, and the three of us, along with Roy Jansen, were like, "Hell yeah, Motocross of Nations, count me in." That was a big win that day.
That was good. I've done a couple of interviews with Billy Lyles as well, and he was really good, really nice. It was cool to do that as well. He was a nice
He's
guy.
great. He's great.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Really cool.
What was your? Did you have any favourite tracks in America on the motocross side, Jeff, and any in Europe that you particularly liked as well?
I liked. I didn't like Roggenberg too much, but I did like Schwanenstadt in Austria in '93.
Yeah.
Like I like that sort of grass track, type of vibe. The other ones not really. I watched Nimes, Belgium, last week. Dob and I were talking about that the other day about how the promoters came out Saturday morning, Sunday morning before the race, and they flooded the track. Watch the first moto of the '97 Motocross of Nations. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
You were like, oh shit! It must have been a total downpour. Never rained. The starting line was like water puddles, like off the start, like it had just rained. And they did that on purpose to try to derail us. And sure enough, it worked. We didn't have a very good day. That was a shitty event for us, man. The worst ever.
I hate it when they water stuff like that. It's just madness.
Yeah.
Ruins it, doesn't it? Pat Stott has put Emig versus Swink, 92 Washougal, one of the most intense battles of all time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, old Swinkster. The late, great Brian Swink.
He was a great
He
rider,
was, he had some speed at times. He's a bit wild, but yeah, we had some good battles, and at that time on my 125, like, man, Washougal, that was my place. Yeah.
Like that one. I got Carl Balfield here, a rider I raced with myself, and he's a speedway rider as well. He's put awesomely, is it true Jeff came to England as a schoolboy and raced at Trentham Gardens in Staffordshire? Is that true, Jeff?
No, my first trip out of the country was it was around '88 or something. I did some race in Italy, some outdoor supercross race, and just not a very good memory. And then or maybe it was '89. I don't know, one of those years. And then Geneva Supercross was my first legit race. Broke my ankle or something. Not very good memories. But no, I never made it to England. I have actually, other than Farley, I've never raced in England.
I've got Pat just put. How do you
I've ridden up at Fat Cats and some places like that.
Oh yeah, you've been at Fat Cats, have you? You've been to Fat Cats? All right.
Yeah, I am multiple times. Yeah, Martin's a good dude. Yep.
But how do you feel about Liverpool this year in the Premiership, and how popular is football in amongst us, the motor industry, soccer?
Well, so I'm a Liverpool supporter, being tested right now, definitely. After a couple of good years, being tested. The worst part is my son is the biggest Man City supporter there is, and he runs his mouth so much. And they got Holland now, right? And this guy is lighting it up, right? Fastest ever to 3 hat tricks ever, 8 appearances.
Crazy.
Right? Michael Owen, it took him, he's the next on the list, and it took him like 48 appearances, 46, 43, something like that. This dude Holland's done it in 8 matches. And my son lets me know about it. Trust me. He rubs it in, but it's great. It's great. We have we love having the competition. We love watching all the matches. 2 of our good friends, my son's best buddy is a Man U supporter. His dad's a Tottenham supporter, so we get the whole thing going. And then at home now in LA, we have the LA Galaxy, which has been around for a long time, and the LAFC, which is only on their 3rd year, and they're both, well, LAFC has been pretty badass again. So we have a good time with that rivalry also.
Is this a good time to mention that I'm a Man United fan?
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm keeping quiet after the weekend. I'm keeping quiet after the weekend.
I thought that one was going to be, I was going to go to the match, but it being Gracie's 21st birthday, we hung out here. But I mean, City is just, they're just unbelievable, you know.
Yeah, that Haaland's
I don't know what else you can say. About it,
Dave Everett here has put, Jeff, when are you coming back to Australia? The Kangaroos miss you, buddy.
I'll be there on the 19th.
I'll
be there for the World Supercross in Melbourne. Yep. Leave on Monday, get there Wednesday. So I'll be in Melbourne Wednesday through Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be an unbelievable event. Also, fantastic stadium down there, Marvel Stadium, just like what's it in Wales? Principality Stadium. Is that name it? Am I getting that right? I should know that.
What's it? Principality, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Yeah, you've got to take a run up at that one. Just Cardiff Stadium.
Yeah, but fantastic stadiums that we have lined up, and really an exciting group of people that I'm looking forward to working with. Of course, Ralph and Kristen B and everything also. So it should be cool.
I've got Dean Harris. Dean Harris has put, I would like to ask Jeff, was there ever a rider that blew his mind away with speed or talent, pro or amateur, with the exception of Lee Ashby, of course?
Oh, well, I mean, if it's not Lee, then, one thing that I talk a lot about, when as a broadcaster, you're always trying to compare different generations and, if this rider raced this rider, who would win? And I'm like, man, there's not one of us champions that would give it up to the other guy. Like on our best day, I could beat anybody, right? And I hope that the other champions would say the same thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the way that Damon Bradshaw rode in the early part of his Supercross career, same thing with James Stewart. There's just something about the moves that those guys would make and the things that they could do on their bike that nobody else could match it. Now, they didn't necessarily, they weren't winning the championships necessarily, but they had this speed, like this raw talent speed that to me was so exciting. Like, I'm not that type of rider at all. Like, I'm a smooth, calculated, I do things proper, right? Bradshaw and Stewart had the ability to corner their motorcycle and do jumps and whoops and stuff like that, like nobody else in the industry. They really did. Didn't always work out for them to win a title, let's say, but out and out speed, those 2 guys are the best ever, man.
Yeah, they're pretty special riders. Do you have any favourite racing? I know you had obviously a lot of cool gear over the years. Was there any particular favourite gear that you had that over the years that you wore? Specific
Well, I
ones?
mean, the GI Fro kit that we still have. I've actually got a set of it with me right now. Going to do some riding on Thursday or something. Some video work. There's been some of the Fox kits that were done throughout the years that really were just totally badass. I mean, the JT gear back in the days when they started mixing in white and and then they had that crazy pink and like some of those kits. I mean, the Cinesalo gear in the early '80s that Jeff Ward wear. I wore Cinesalo there for a few years. It was just the coolest. The all white. I mean, I was in the leg gator time too when we had gators from probably about 81, 82 is when we got leg gators, to put over our boots and those were just the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always been a part of the sport that I really enjoyed and that I really bought into that and wanted to do those things to create an image and to sell those products and to have a style and to look a certain way on the bike. And I feel like over the years I've just been the luckiest guy ever because I mean I've been with Fox and Shift now since late '80s or '96. I started wearing Fox helmet in '98 and then Fox boots a couple years after that, and we just have the coolest shit, man. It's just all there is to it. The designers and stuff have done a great job. And Shift to me is just such a special brand. The things that I've gotten to do on a motorcycle, the video shoots and different things that I've done because of Shift have really been fulfilling in my racing career, and even after my pro career, some of the video shoots and things we would do to promote Shift have just created some pretty, long lasting memories, of motorcycling. So it's been a pretty amazing ride with them so far too.
I'm going to pull these cool pictures up. I've got quite a few. Was this the Yam that you said that wasn't as good, or?
No, that was in '91. We started getting it together that year. That bike was pretty good. It was coming together. 125 Supercross, yeah. Yep. Too bad. I pointed out a 125 Supercross a year earlier than what I should have. That's a whole nother story. But so that was LA Coliseum. This was one of the Supercross events right here. So my mechanic, Steve Butler, there, we did 5 years together, and Steve really was responsible, along with Bob Oliver and the rest of our team, of making, the production bike was really not very good. And we made the best, fastest race bike there was. And when the pro circuit was really strong through those years, and I was the one lone factory Yamaha rider. So 93, 125, that was a pretty good bike. Yeah, 92.
I like that. 90, I like that I like that setup of all your gear and everything. It was very cool then as well.
Yeah, 93 sucked because we had some carburation issues and lost some races because of some mechanical malfunctions. But I mean, I won twice as many motos and twice as many overalls as Doug Henry. Yet I missed the championship by 13 points, and that one is the one that got away. I was pretty bummed out about that one. I definitely feel like I was. There's Doug and I right there. I mean, I was the faster rider, and we just had a couple of mechanicals that really cost us big that year. And that's part of it.
Some good pictures here.
Redbud, yeah. It's crazy. I can remember these tracks. Like I can tell you which one that's Hangtown. The one before was Redbud, and it's like
bang on.
It's just
Love it.
It's just crazy. Yeah, it's just like it comes right back to you so easy. Yeah.
Love it.
Creek. Yeah, it was a big race there.
What was this bike like, Jeff?
95. 95. That's when Yamaha made the big switch to the blue and white big, bold statement. You know, the 18-wheeler was painted the same. Our shirts were the same. Everything was this blue and white. That's when they really made the change to blue that they've had ever since then. So yeah.
Some good pictures here.
Yeah, this is when I was in the 250 class. I wasn't quite seasoned enough to win at the 250 level yet. Like I had a moto here or there, you know, things like that, but wasn't quite ready to step up.
I remember you winning, didn't you win one of the GP races they had in America as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, I won the first moto.
That's it, I remember that, yeah. Did you ever think about, did that ever even enter your mind about potentially going over and doing the GPs in Europe?
Yeah, that was totally my plan. My plan was going to be to finish up in Europe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
that. But, you know, the injury in 2000 just, you know, stepped in that, you know, fate and destiny took its course, and that's the way it was. So 97 Supercross bike, that was a good bike. We worked hard on these bikes. One thing, you know, because my dad was an engine builder and we did all of our own modifications, you know, I became a test rider when I was, you know, 12 years old, if you will.
Very young, yeah.
And so once it came time as a professional, you know, I got a lot of compliments and a lot of feedback from the team members for being a really good test rider. Like I knew terminology, I knew what the bike needed, and you know, I could relay that, what's happening with the machine. I could relay that back to the technicians. And what we did with these Kawasaki's in the mid 90s, the engine was so good. I mean, there's a lot of like little technical things that we did that just, you know, made it a great motorcycle.
You had a great relationship with a couple of mechanics that you've just mentioned as well, Butler as well. This was obviously a good part of your career as well.
Yeah, Jeremy Albrecht, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so he was like fifth on the list when I went to Kawasaki. Tried to get Butler to go with me. He decided to stay at Yamaha, which was the right thing for him. He's actually still at Yamaha. And there were a number of I mean, Danny Bentley, Spencer Bloomer, God, who anyway, and we were kind of coming down to it, and it's like, you know, what are we going to do? And it's like, we couldn't find a mechanic. And I said, well, Jeremy Albrecht's working for North County Yamaha. You know, maybe we should give Jeremy a shot, right? He had never worked on a team and a bike at that level. And, you know, we had been really good friends for a number of years. And it was really cool for us to do that together and to have that success together. Because we spent, you know, time off the track together and just had a fantastic friendship. Yeah. And, you know, he allowed me to be me, and he certainly took on a persona of his own, you know. And we just had a really good time doing what we were doing. And it was really special to spend those years with Jeremy Albrecht as my mechanic. It just was, you know, it really made for some great memories.
So something that wasn't really going to happen turned into an amazing friendship, as well as obviously the working relationship as well.
Yeah, and you know, it's great. It kicked off a whole, you know, career for Jeremy. It was the beginning of this opportunity that he had, and he stayed with Kawasaki after I left, and you know, won championships with James Stewart. You know, took and parlayed that into running the Gibbs racing program for years, and yeah, he's had a hell of a career himself.
Oh, very cool. Did you have any superstitions or anything weird and wonderful, Jeff, over your career?
Yeah, well, I think you call it superstitions, but now that I'm older and I've done a tremendous amount of like sports psychology training and things like that, it's more just about being kind of OCD, right?
Okay, yeah.
And having, and why are you like that? It's like I'm very routine oriented. Everything has to kind of be in its place. And what happens is when you have, you know, you get dressed a certain way, and you could call it superstitions, but it more was when you do things in repetition over and over and over again, your brain sets these markers, right? So if you've done A, B, C, D, and E, 1,000 times. So you do A, put your socks on. Then you do B, your brain goes, oh, okay. If he did A and B, the next thing that's going to happen is C, and your brain sets these markers, and it becomes repetitive. So then a lot of that is not forgetting things, doing things a certain way, having a routine, but it breeds confidence. Now you can have that disrupted, but if you've done these things, if you've done A, B, C, and D, then C must be coming next, right? And so I would always get dressed a certain way, at motocross nationals. I would put my helmet on, gloves, everything before I even went to the starting line. I always used to like to walk to the starting line. I didn't want to ride the motorcycle. Okay. I wanted to walk and kind of build up a sweat, and I always like to interact with the fans, kind of get that energy and that support from the fans, right? Be there available for the fans that are at the fence and they want to high five you and things like that. And so there was a bit of a routine, and I mean, I don't know if it was superstition, but it's not like I had any voodoo dolls in my locker or anything like that,
Jamie's got a really awesome setup in the UK, Ultimate Wheels Honda team, and he just put, did someone say OCD? I'm a little bit like that as well, and he likes to keep it all clean. He's mopping all around the team awning, all around the mats and everything, and it looks absolutely mint. And I said, I've got a bit of that going on as well. Maybe it's,
Yeah.
Gotta have a bit of OCD,
there's a method in the madness.
100%. 100%.
Right.
Ian's just put, hi Jeff, absolutely fantastic interview, thank you and Lee. Do you think the manufacturers don't have the same flair and design as they did in the 80s and 90s, etc.? KTM, Husky, Gas, and now maybe Triumph? Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the question. I think it's just the the different generations, I mean, it's like the 90s, everything was kind of wild and everything's kind of serious, and everyone, like, I don't know. I wish I had the opportunity to design some ads and do more of that type of image work today than what I do. Obviously, my time as being a professional racer and being the athlete is getting less and less with every day, but yeah, it could use some pizzazz, and but there's just it's so easy to do all that stuff these days, with graphics manufacturers. Everybody gets custom graphics, everybody gets custom jerseys and all this stuff done. So I think it's just hard. It's really hard to stand out because it's kind of like, well, everything's been done. So what do you do? And really what you do is you go back and you recycle images and design and stuff from different generations, like bell bottoms, or not bell bottoms, but big jeans are coming back. Personally, I don't want big jeans to come back. The big baggy jeans, like from the 90s, going out to like raves and clubs and stuff. I mean, my daughter's 18. Her and all of her friends, they all wear these big ass jeans. It's like, I kind of like my jeans the way they are. I'm not really following any trends these days. I like to wear a lot of black. I keep it simple. That's all.
That's brilliant. I like the old. Everyone always used to like all the different helmets and all the designs and the spray jobs. Everyone loved all that. They were pretty cool.
Yeah. So this was my replica with Shoei. Before that, we had Troy Lee did all of our helmets. Great guy, really creative. We talked about it one day, and all the Honda guys, like McGrath and everybody, were on red Hondas. And so we started talking about this idea for this bull. And he's like, what if we do a bull? And I don't know if you've ever met Troy Lee, but he's as crazy
no,
as
I haven't.
Right? He's been in the paint booth way too long. You know what I mean?
Sniffing all that.
He's just such an amazing guy and so creative. And so he came up with this idea, hey, let's put this bull on top of your helmet, right? Yeah, there you go. They would do so I didn't ride for Troy Lee. He just did the, did the helmet paint, right? He didn't make gear at the time. And yeah, so he came up with this bull, and this bull was directly related to Hondas being red, and bulls, they see red, they go crazy. So that's the story behind that.
See that. There's
Mm-hmm.
another cool one. That.
Yeah, one of the Supercross helmets in 98. Not sure who has that helmet. I gave that helmet to someone. I'm not sure where it's at though. I gave away a lot of my stuff. I really made sure that the people that were close to me, that supported me through those time periods.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got enough gear. I didn't keep everything. I hear like James Stewart has kept everything. I didn't keep everything, but whoever's got it probably appreciates it more than I do, even at this point.
That's very cool.
That was all gold leaf and stuff. I love that. That was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. Well, that's when at this point, by the mid 90s, our family business, my dad was making triple clamps and all that, and we had IMS, who makes foot pegs now. IMS was a distributor for us, and they that was an IMS ad that they wanted to do. So notice the shift necklace there.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's nice. I see. Obviously, you become an ambassador for Husky. Are you still doing that now, or what's?
No contract with Husky, but
Okay.
we had just an unbelievable time from 2016 cool. Until just a year ago. I mean, I still ride Huskies now. Yeah. Our business relationship has ended, but fantastic. KTM Group, just a fantastic company to work with. Because some of the other Japanese companies were just so big, and KTM was located in Marietta. It's like became dear friends with John Eric Burleson, who was the president of KTM North America. We worked on the USMCA, on the United States Motorcycle Coaching Association together.
Yep.
John Hines, who runs KTM North America now, is a dear friend. And with the Japanese companies, you're never going to be in contact with the president of the company. But with KTM Group, it's like, they're one of us, So picture from Loretta's last year.
Yeah, you enjoying? I see you've been riding a bit and stuff. Have you been enjoying the riding, Jeff?
Yeah, I did last year. I rode a ton. I mean, I dedicated everything for about 4 or 5 months, was nothing but preparing for Loretta's and riding the 125. Twisted Development built me an engine. Enzo Racing still does my suspension. Ross Maeda from Enzo has basically worked on my suspension since 1990. He's been involved in some way or another, so maybe even a little bit before that. And I just chose to ride the 150. I know, everybody makes a big deal about it and all that in this day and age with fuel injected 450s and all that. But I wish that we all just rode 150s or even 125s. It's not really fair to ride the 150 against the 450s. But if we all could just ride 125s again, it would be so amazing. It's so fun. It is. It's so fun.
That's all I rode, 125s.
Yeah, but it's like there's no replacement for displacement, and when you get on the line and you go to race, it's like 450 is the way to go, I guess.
It is, yeah. What were those yams like at the sort of end of your career, Jeff? What were they like?
Yeah, that bike was great. Excuse me, that bike was amazing. So when Kawasaki let me go in end of summer in '99, guy who drove my tour bus, Tim Dixon, became my mechanic. My best buddy, Tony Strangio, we all three became business partners. We started Strategic 3 Motorsports, got some sponsors together and went to Yamaha, basically begged them for bikes and parts. They ran everything through North County Yamaha. And I got on the Yamaha because I rode all the bikes, and I truly felt that the Yamaha was going to be the best bikes through the whoops. And I wasn't very good through the whoop sections throughout my career. Won some races, won Supercross title before, but really the whoops were my Achilles heel, right?
Yeah.
And so Dixon was like, look, man, if you want to be Supercross champion again, you have got to figure this thing out. So I leased out the Supercross track up at Glen Helen. We got on Yamaha. FMF was building the engines, Terry Varner and FMF. Enzo was doing the suspension. Okay. I went to Ross Maeda and I said, you tell me what suspension I need. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what I want. You tell me how I'm going to be the fastest guy through the whoops. I'll learn to ride it on the rest of the track. Right? If you want to be Supercross champion again, you have got to be the best guy through the whoops. And remember, around that time, the whoop sections were gnarly.
Yeah, massive,
really, really gnarly. And McGrath was exceptional. And so that's what we did. We got on the bike in September, built that bike. He did one spec for me for the fast cross and then one spec for Supercross, and I never changed it. I said, you tell me what I need and I'll ride it. And by December of 99, I think it was the best that I've ever ridden a motorcycle in my entire life. A week before the first Supercross, I was out at Stefan Roncato's Supercross track having a day of days. I come up short on this little like triple out of this turn, and I wasn't holding on tight, and I hit, and I both wrists backwards, snapped both wrists. And that was a week before the first Supercross, when I literally had been riding. I think that I was better then than what I had ever been in any of my championship years. Bike was awesome. We had just built the new team, the Edge Sports, FMF, White Brothers, everybody on board. And that's just the way that my story was to be written, you know?
Because you had another injury. Was it another injury the following year as well when you tried to ride again?
No. So that was December 30th, 1999. Yeah. I missed. So a friend of mine had a huge Millennium party.
Yep.
And I bought it, like I had a tuxedo for the party, the whole shebang. I'm in the hospital with 2 broken wrists, like hitting the morphine button, right? Because I'm in so much pain because I broke both wrists the day before. Everyone else is celebrating New Year's, partying like it was 1999.
Yeah.
I'm in the hospital, yeah. Well,
wow.
And so that was the interesting thing as we wrap this up here. We're 2 hours in, but one last little story, right, is I knew that with all the therapy that you have to do, like your rehab on your wrist injuries like that, you've got to get the scar tissue out of there. You've got to get range of motion. You know, if you end up like Ricky Johnson, you got the chicken wing going because your wrist doesn't move, right? And I mean, my wrists now are, I have like unbelievable range of motion. At one time, my hands were on the side of my arms. Both of them were like, it was bad, dude. I can't stomach it anymore. But
no, that's not good.
So I did my rehab. I started riding again. Okay, we're going to come back for pro motocross.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that during that time period was when Jimmy Button got hurt. And he was the factory Yamaha four-stroke rider, right?
Yeah.
So I went out and tested the 4-stroke with Yamaha. It was going to be a great fit for me. I really felt good about getting back with factory Yamaha again. Still going to use my team. They were going to take care of the bike, but was going to work under my rig and all my sponsorship and everything. But we couldn't come to terms on money, on a salary and bonuses.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, great. I'll just ride my bike. I'll do what I'm doing. I'll back on it. A week later, a week before the first pro motocross event, I'm out at Glen Helen on a Thursday. Second or third lap, I come through, go to hit this little tabletop where you're like on the throttle, and then you chop the throttle and hit the brakes before this tabletop. Well, the throttle sticks. I launch in the air, 50 feet in the air, come down, compound fracture my right lower leg, crushed a vertebrae in my back. I was paralyzed for 30 seconds or 2 minutes, I went through the whole thought process, thought I was paralyzed. Some feeling came back, started to feel my broken leg, moved my other leg a little bit. And right then, it was like, I call it my racing spirit. But right then, I literally decided, I'm literally face down in the mud. And I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And that spirit, that thing inside you, that fire that burns, that thing that you have to have, that you'll work as hard as you hard as you can, you'll risk everything. I knew right then it left me.
Yeah.
It left me, and that I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Just get me to the ambulance. Give me some morphine because I'm in a lot of pain again. Yeah. So, and that's how my story was to be written, you know. But I was more fortunate than some, you know. Fortunately, I was able to get back on my feet and back on a motorcycle, and I've been able to enjoy motorcycling another 23 years since then, you know. So, and literally had some of my best experiences motorcycling since that time period, you know. Maybe not as a professional, but certainly been really fortunate. And, you know, hopefully another 22, 23 years from now, I'll still be riding. I mean, I'll be pretty old. I'll be like as old as you are, but, you know. So,
I'd love to, I've still got even half of my questions, Jeff. I'd love to do a part 2 sometime. We'll have to do when you're not so busy. In the winter, it'd be good. I'd do a part 2 of this.
I would love
I'd
to.
appreciate it.
That was great.
I'd love to do that, mate.
No, man. It's really great walking down memory lane here and getting to answer the questions from the viewers and the fans and yourself. You know, it's you know, sometimes I think it's pretty easy to take for granted what, you know, this life that I've been able to lead and what I've been able to accomplish. And you know, to be honest, motorcycling and racing and my success, all my hard work and effort and a little bit of luck here and there, you know, it's taken me a lot of places. And now here I am back in this beautiful town here in Derbyshire, and, you know, starting a whole nother career again as a broadcaster for World Supercross. And now my broadcasting, which I really think of as like a second career, you know, we're starting off with a couple of races this year, but next year I'm going to go to places that I still haven't been in this world. And so I just feel like the luckiest little kid, you know, that I got a nickname, right?
Yeah.
All my heroes are friends of mine now.
Mad.
I made, you know, had a fantastic career as a professional racer, then parlayed that into being a broadcaster. You know, I'm a father to 2 amazing children, and I have just amazing friends all over the world, you know. And now this new opportunity with Supercross Global and World Supercross is like just a whole nother chapter that I'm getting ready to start. So we should definitely talk, you know, leading into next year's Supercross and things like that. Maybe do a part 2 and
that'd be beautiful.
Cover the rest of it.
I'd appreciate that, mate. That would be awesome. And I wish you all the best for this weekend at Cardiff. Can't wait to go there, but I know you guys are going to smash it. And I really appreciate your time, Jeff. It's absolutely unbelievable for me to meet you and get to speak to you. You're a proper idol of mine. So I know
it's taken us a while, but I appreciate it. And thanks for not giving up on me, Lee. Oh, and last thing is I'm going to be in London on Sunday, and I'm looking for a ticket to Liverpool at Arsenal. So if anybody's got an extra ticket, hit me up on Instagram. You got some way to get to that match, because I'm going to stay an extra day, see my beloved Liverpool, and hopefully we can pull a win out. You know,
someone should be able to sort that out, I'm sure. Like to see that. That's good, mate. I'm glad you see that. Much appreciated, buddy. And thanks to Jamie as well. I had some great times with Jamie. And yeah, we'll have to hook that part 2 up. That'd be awesome, mate.
Yep. And remember, when you're hot, you're hot.
When you're hot, you're hot. Love it.
Yep. All right.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Lee.
Best of luck at the weekend.
All the best. Thanks everybody.
Much love, mate. Thank you, mate. Bye. What a ledge. The throw. Woo! Yes. Thank you, Mr. Dobb, as well, for having the throw at your house, and maybe hooked him up on a laptop for me as well. Did I ever think I'd speak to these legends? Wow. Appreciate that, Adam, as well. Adam's put the link there in the comments. Look, if any of you guys want to help in any way, I would appreciate it. Even getting this StreamYard up is like, well, I don't know what it is now. Is it 40 quid a month, Adam, or something like that? I would appreciate that. Look, buy me a coffee. If any of you guys want to press on that, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. But what a beauty. What do you think? Look at that. Jeff Emig. Did I ever think I'd speak to any of these guys? But some of these American idols and heroes of ours in the 90s, unbelievable. Crazy. Hopefully I can get his mate on one day as well. McGrath would be cool, wouldn't it? I didn't even actually speak to Jeff about McGrath the whole time, about their thing. I even had that to put up. Look. Talk about their rivalry as well. But hopefully he's going to hook me up with a part 2 by the sounds of it. And we can do that in the new year by the sounds of it, when they're going to lead in. Sounds he give us quite a few little insights there, didn't he? Some new things about... I think his Jeff Emig handle grips. Give us a little exclusive on that. He also give us a little exclusive on that next year is going to be like 8 rounds, was it, for the World Supercross, and talking about potentially like 15 to 20 rounds after that. I'm really sorry that any of those ones I didn't get any questions in. Did my best. There was hundreds coming in. I was literally like a blur on the corner of my eye. I was trying to get a few in. But I did my best in that time without being like transfixed on Jeff. Doing that, holy shit, what am I doing here? Oh, mental. Did I think when I was a schoolboy motocrosser in the BSMA in the 90s, looking through the DBRs, watching them Motorvision tapes of the Chamberlain brothers, watching McGrath and Emig every night, watching all those AMA review tapes and VHSs and all that. I used to literally fall asleep to them every night, thinking it was amazing to be a BSMA champion and all that, but then to get to speak to these guys, absolute nuts. No problem, buddy. Thank you, mate. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate that. Unreal, eh, buddy? Nuts, man. Hi, Paul. Hope you're good. Yeah, it was nuts. Hi, Elliot. Hope you're good, buddy. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for coming on. You did, Lee. You did, Jamie. You did meet me. Laugh, that is. I even got the Ultimate Wheels Honda right at the throw as well. Did you notice that, James? See? Hey, see? I've got you, buddy. No problem, Vincent. Thank you very much, whoever that is. Thanks for coming on. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate that as well, Adam, putting that in the comments for me. I appreciate that. I was just going to speak to you guys about that as well. But I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. How cool was that? Absolute nuts, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. Oh, dear. Just don't get any. But thanks, Adam, for putting that on the screen for me. If anyone sees that in the comments, I would appreciate that. If you want to help me out in any way, that would be amazing. Top guy, old Adam, sorting me out. Thank you very much, Dean. Harris, thanks for coming on. Glad you spotted that, Jane. Got that straight at the throw. Ultimate Wheels Honda. Boo! Thanks, Steve. Hope you're good, buddy. I've seen all your pictures lately. It looks like you've been having a great time lately with the boys. Thanks, Wayne. How cool is that, mate, eh? Did we think that when we were at the Morden Motocross Club in the 90s that I'd get to speak to Emig, eh? Mental, isn't it? Oh, dear. And that was quite cool as well, that he actually knew that I'd literally, I think I've been chasing Jeff for probably about a year or two. Obviously, he's always been flat out busy with he was obviously doing all the, wasn't he? Doing all the AMA, all the broadcasting and commentary and all that as well. And fair play to him. He just said, thanks for not giving up on me. definitely won't do that, buddy. I remember chasing all these guys. I think some of the people forget about that. They think that I just walk into all these contacts. It doesn't happen like that, trust me. when I first started, I literally chased Stefan Everts for over a year, messaged him pretty much every other day. I think he just literally surrendered in the end. And then you end up with the contacts of these guys and numbers, and just how Jeff was talking about, he said that he had numbers of all his heroes and idols. That's exactly the same here. It's absolutely nuts. So if I die or keel over, or you see anything on social media that I get wiped out, come and get my phone, all right? Come and get my phone. There's some madness in there. I still can't get over it. It never gets old. It's exactly how Jeff was describing what he had of some people. I was thinking, yeah, that sounds like what I've got. Some of the stuff is absolute madness. All the people I've got to speak to. Mental. Absolutely mental. Thanks for putting that in the comments, Adam. If anyone wants to do that, I would appreciate it. So I will remind you again of the Cardiff Supercross comp we got going. Hopefully I'll see a load of you guys there this Saturday. I'm actually going now. I didn't think I was going, but I'm actually going with Kevin. So hopefully I'll see a load of you there this Saturday at Cardiff Supercross. Cannot wait. Yeah, we're going to be there. So we've still got a competition going. So it's what, now on Monday night? So only 3 nights to go. We're going to do a live draw on Thursday night. And there's only, what, 7 numbers gone out of the 50. So if you want to hook up for one of them numbers, let us know. There's only going to be 1 to 50 maximum for Thursday, 8 p.m. Thursday night live draw for that. 2 VIP tickets, so worth over 500 quid. And apparently they're right next to me and Kevin. I'm going to be lucky enough to be on there. I didn't even know I was going. So big love to my man, Kevin. Can't believe we're going now. So I'm buzzing for that. And apparently the competition that was won the other night are near us. And apparently these 2 VIP tickets are right near us as well. And you get to go in a couple of hours earlier than everyone else to watch some more of the practice as well with those VIP tickets. So let us know if you want to get involved. Cannot wait for that. Me and Kevin went to the Cardiff Speedway only a month or 2 ago, and that was only the 2nd time I've ever been there. So buzzing for that. Can't wait for this, to see all these guys. I've not seen any of them sort of type of riders like the Roxons and Eli Tomeks. Never seen any of them sort of guys live. Never thought I'd get to. So how cool is that? Cannot wait. Buying me a coffee is a great way to say thank you for all the hard work behind the scenes that this man does bring in these interviews. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks, buddy. It means a lot. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. My man, Adam, look, he's always helping me out. He got me onto this stream. These are the sort of people I've met through getting back into the motocross for the last couple of years since the lockdown. Meeting amazing guys like Adam. They don't try to knock you down when you're trying to do stuff. They actually help you. Amazing guy. Even come and sorted out, sang at my wedding as well a couple of weeks ago. Brought all his equipment down. What a guy he is. Thank you very much, Adam. Much appreciated. What a guy. Hopefully he's going to get a race meeting going soon up at Newbury. Bring the old Fox and Hounds days back. I'm sure loads of you know about all the GP days in the 60s and 70s and all that. And I think even the man here, Jorgen Nielsen, who gave me the Camel Supercross, he sent me these after I did his interview, which was really cool. Where's the other one gone? Oh, there it is. Signed that one. Look, Jorgen Nielsen. He rode at the Fox and Hounds and won a GP race there, I believe. Right, that right, Adam? He sent me a few of those. Look, pretty cool. You can see them. Jorgen Nielsen. Look, I know he won some motos at the Fox and Hounds up in Newbury near Reading. Very cool that he sent me them. He sent them to Martin Neary and to give to me after I did his interview, which was very cool. And then also we've got our Champion of Champions we're doing in the end of this month. Just need you guys to come and you guys and girls to come and support us, get involved, try and finish the year off with a bang. It's on the 29th and 30th of October at the end of this month at Culham. We've got about, I did look earlier, it's on 100 riders now, but we're going to need more than double that to make it all work. So hopefully everyone's going to back us in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I think it's 4 weeks this weekend just gone. So hopefully everyone's going to get involved. Yeah, Jeff is a top bloke for sure. What a nice guy as well, hey? Absolute superstar. He is. Well, he's like you said, he's got his two parts. I'm sure all the younger guys and girls now will just know him even just from the commentary side of things. A bit like the Speedway with like Calvin Tatum, isn't it? It's almost like a second career. All the younger guys will remember them for now, not necessarily their career, when obviously a lot of us remember them for their amazing careers, but now they've got a second career. See how nice this guy is? There is a vet class, Russell. There is a vet class, 40 over 40s at on any bike for the meeting. So yeah, get involved, buddy. Be good to see you guys up there. Get the Ultimate Honda Wheels boys up there. I don't know if Jamie's going to get a few of the boys in, but I do appreciate that, Adam. Thanks, mate. We do forget about that, don't we? Adam got me involved on the StreamYard. No problem, Russell. Yeah. We did on the StreamYard. Obviously, we started out in the lockdown where it was just all on the Skype and all them sort of things. We're just doing a one-on-one, and then it was Adam himself that actually got me onto this StreamYard account, so you can sort of stream live to my own Facebook, my Facebook group and page, and YouTube channel and Twitter all at the same time, so you guys can come on, get pictures on the screen, get your guys' questions answered on the screen by idols and stuff. It's pretty cool setup. But yeah, I really appreciate that, Adam. Thanks, mate. And you should check out Adam's as well. Adam, what's the name of your YouTube channel? Adam's got some proper super legends on his as well. He was doing them before I was. I know he's got Stefan Everts, Brock Glover, Lackey, not Lakey, Winslet. He's got, we both did Roger Da Costa. But Adam's done some proper legends as well. You have to check his interviews out on as well. I can't remember what he said his YouTube channel was called. But his are on YouTube as well, I believe, aren't they, Adam? But like you said, yeah, you can check out all my interviews on my YouTube channel. Even the ones I've done lately, very cool. Well, any of you motocross fans are on. I recently did Mike Brown's just before the Vets Fox Hill. Before that, I did Steffi Leia, the woman's legend. I did Ron Machine only about 3 months ago, and I also did Talon Voland, Mark Banks, Jeff Matasevich, Marnie Bavorts. That was all in the sort of last 6 months. Bob Moore, Geordie Tixier, Billy Lyles, Mark DeRuva, Jorgen Nielsen, Tim Geiser. So you can check all them out. There's literally hundreds on there now. Just to name a few of the Americans, I did 2 with Mike Gunnar Healy, Bader Monet, Doug Henry, Mervyn Anstey, Josh Coppins, Zach Osborne, Ricky Johnson himself. Did the one with him, which was amazing. That's why I was so chuffed that Ricky remembered me when I saw him at Fox Hill the other month. That was pretty cool. Paul Cooper, all the top Brit guys. Dave Thorpe was my first ever live one. There's so many on there to check out. Kurt Nichol, Paul Malin, Jamie Dobb. Did 2 parts with Seb Tortelli. That was amazing. Jackie Martins, the former 500cc world champion. When I'm just going down it, you forget how many cool ones you did. Nathan Shelton, Steffi Bow, another legendary lady rider. The man, Roger Da Costa. Gordon Crockard, Mickey Diamond, another AMA legend, 2 times 125 AMA champion. Jeff Stanton, that was quite a comical one as well. It was very cool that we were out farming with Jeff live as we were on a thing with him. I did Max Anstey, Joel Smets, that was really cool. Did about 3.5 hours with Joel Smets, that was mental. Cole Nunn, that was very cool. Ben Townley, Jake Nichols, Stefan Everts, obviously. I did Rob Herring a couple of times. I've done Harry Everts, Dave Thorpe, Marcus Hansen, another 500cc world champion. Absolute madness what I'm going. Joachim Coulson, that was pretty cool when he came over and recognised me at Fox Hill. That was a bit of an eye-opener as well. When he came over to me, I sort of shit my pants, but he sort of come over and said, "Hey, Lee, how are you?" And I was like, whoa. Jeff Leask, I remember doing that as well on the old Skype. Jeff Leask. Bob Moore, I've done 2 with him. Stephen Clark, Liam Everts, Brian Jorgensen, done 2 parts. Roger Harvey, Graham Noyce, live in his living room, was absolutely off the head. Paul Cooper, I did a couple with. Kurt Nichols, I've done a couple with. David Pingree, I don't know if a lot of people knew I did that as well on the Skype. Paul Malin, did a mint 4-part with him, was really deep one. Stefan Everts, I did twice, once on the live and once before that on the thing as well, on the Skype. You should check that out as well. Steve Dixon, Zach Osborne, Mike Alessi as well. I remember doing the 2-part Skype with Mike Alessi. That was ages ago now. Billy Lyles, I've done twice. Dave Thorpe, I've done a massive 3 or 4-parter on the Skype as well as the live one I did with him. Also, the New Zealander 500cc World Champion Shane King. I've done that like 2 years ago now. Look, bloody hell. Warren Edwards answered my questions on a video. I spoke to Jimmy Button, Greg Hansen, Nev Bradshaw twice, Jeff Perrett, James Marsh answered my questions as well. Christian Burnham, Marnie Bavorts I've had twice, once on a live and once on a Skype. It was really cool. And right at the start as well, Justin Morris and Perry Leask answered my questions. Mental. That was 2 years ago now already. Wow. So yeah, appreciate that, people, everyone being on. Is that your YouTube channel? Is it the Dukes of Hazzard 01? Love that. There's Adam's YouTube channel. Look, you can check his out as well. I know he's got some very cool ones on there. Brad Lackey, not Lakey, as I've said before. He's done some proper legends on there. Brock Glover is very cool as well. I know he did. You also did Cole Fogarty as well, didn't you, Adam? The old Superbike world champion. You obviously, we even all remember not that long ago, he was on the old Won the Celebrity Jungle as well, didn't he? Adam did his as well, I think, in the lockdown. Cole Fogarty was a very cool interview as well. You should check that out as well on his YouTube channel. I know he did Stefan Everts, Roger DaCosta. Just trying to think of the other ones he did. I know he's done a lot of old school legends on there, that's for sure. You should check it out. And mine was just called Motocross and Spear Memories. If you go on YouTube, put either Motocross and Spear Memories, or even I think if you put in Lee Ashby, I think it comes up as well, just under my YouTube as well, because it's all logged in under that as well, under my name as well. So yeah, check them out. Check them out. And we'll get some more interviews going in the winter months when everyone's starting to come indoors a bit more. I should do a few more over this winter. Loads of speedway ones to do as well. Got a lot of cool 2-parters I've got to catch up with. Calvin Tatum I did recently was mint. Going to do a part 2 with that. There's plenty out there to do. I'm chasing the Big Mac, Jeremy McGrath as well. That would be super cool to do. I'd love to do Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed. So many I'd like to do. James Bubba Stewart would be cool, wouldn't it? A couple of times when old Everts was helping me out when I was advertising his gin, I was going to get Poozar, but you didn't obviously speak the English. I loved Poozar and Chody as well, another one that I was going to go after. But they didn't. They're not very good with the English, is a bit of a bummer, but yeah. Imagine that. Who the hell is that guy? I'd love to have interviewed him. The old boiler, the old Ashby racing levers. I've got to get his t-shirt back out as well, back on the wall. With the old, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Love that saying that he used to say to me in his latter years before he died. That's why I always quote him. Yes, Ricky Johnson, mate. Got if you check out my YouTube channel, I did a 3-hour live with Ricky Johnson. It's an absolute madness. That's why it was so cool to actually meet him in person as well. Fox Hill, my hometown. Like, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? Adam Winslet, the buy me coffee link isn't working, mate. Oh, bummer, innit? What's going on with that? Why is it not working? Bummer. Wonder if I can try and put it on there. I don't know if I can do that on my phone. I might just try and put it in there while I'm on here. I'm going to try. Don't know if it'll work. Soon find out. Is it going to come up? I've just put it in there now myself, I think. So I don't know if that link will work. I'll come out of that one as well, and I'll do it on there. Thank you very much for asking as well. Appreciate that, Ian. I'll put it in that one as well, so it comes up on my own one. Don't know if that's going to come through any different. Probably still under me, maybe. I don't know. Wonder if it does it on your YouTube channel as well. Never thought of that. I'm on there now live. Can I comment on that? Probably can. Soon find out. Does it come through on there? Yes, it does. Look, there you go. Just commented on my YouTube channel. And I put it on there as well. Lee, why don't you do Italian? I don't know what. I would learn Italian for Chico, Chodi, and Puza. It's getting over to you lot. Yeah, I would. Oh, because I used to have the old Puza replica, BFE luminous yellow helmet with his spray job thing that he had on it, replica. That was mint. I still can't believe. I don't know who I give it to, but fuming I haven't still got that. Still got my McGrath one that I had, but bummer I haven't got that. Bummer, man. So yeah, anyone wants to get involved in this Cardiff comp, like I said, we've got 2 VIP tickets still, and they are right by where we're sitting, apparently, me and Kevin. So it'd be good for you to join us. I'm buzzing to be able to go. Didn't think I was going, and Kevin said we're going, so I'm absolutely buzzing about that. So can't wait for that now, Saturday. Buzzing for that. Like I said, yeah, get booked in. Thank you, Pat, as well, who's come on tonight. He does the 90s motocross that you all see on Instagram. He hooked me up with this new logo. Look, take that off so you can see it. I think Adam's put it down in there again, so if anyone wants to go on that, be appreciated. That sick logo, look, that Pat sorted me out for our Champion of Champions, Motocross Spear Champion of Champions. Hopefully everyone's going to get booked in there in the next couple of weeks and get booked in. It should be a beauty, and want to finish the year off with a bang, and then we're going to get organising for reunion, Motocross Spear Members Reunion 3, which we're looking around 223, around April, May time, something like that, I expect. But hopefully we can make this happen at the end of the month. Hopefully everyone will support us making this happen. So we've seen a lot of tracks and events cancelled, and a lot of tracks now you can't ride on. So we thought we were going to try and go for a second event this year. So we've got to get these events in. I think we'll have the Electric World Championships anytime soon coming as well. So how long do we know? Look how much the world changed in the last couple of years with COVID. When do we know that anything's going to happen? I think we should ride it when we can, as it were. Ride it when we can. The only thing we can't do in October, unfortunately, is we can't do that. All right. But we will for Reunion 3 next year. Yo, mine, yeah, it was super cool, buddy. Thank you, Darren. Appreciate that, mate. Oh, king of interviews. Too nice to me, buddy. Thank you, mate. King of interviews. But yeah, I would appreciate that. Adam's put it up for me, look, and it's in the comments. I think it's in there. It's called Buy Me a Coffee, something like that. Is that what it's actually called? Yeah, it is called that. And yeah, any help would be appreciated. It does cost like about 40 quid a month to sort this StreamYard out alone, so would appreciate it. Much appreciated if you want to buy me a coffee. Quite a few of you were asking me, saying what could they do to thank me, and I was like, no idea. And then Adam actually came to me and said, why don't you do this buy me a coffee thing? So I was like, oh, right, cool. So we'll see what happens, but I appreciate it anyway. Thank you for Adam sorting me out that. Beautiful. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ian. Thanks, buddy. Hope you're good. Hope we're going to see a lot of you at give me a shout. Let's get if you see me at Cardiff Supercross, give me a shout. And we'll get some cheeky selfies going. Hopefully we can meet the stars there. You never know, you can rub shoulders with there. Don't know what's happening with this VIP going in early thing as well, who we're going to get to meet and stuff. So you never know. get a couple of interviews out of it. Hopefully I'll get to meet Jeff there. I might just try and message him when I'm there, and you never know. I might be able to like have a quick see him or something, but I'm sure he's going to be like flat out working at the time, isn't he, and doing all the commentary. But you never know. You never know. You never know. Don't know if Dobby's going there this weekend or not. Never had a picture of Mr. Dobb. Thank you all very much for coming on tonight. I will, yeah, like I said, I'm just going to do that live draw this Thursday night for the Cardiff competition. And then it's all systems go for Cardiff on Saturday. I think Adam's going as well. So if you see Adam, the man, get yourself a picture with that man. It will shock you how tall he is in real life as well. I know we don't look that tall on here. I'm about 6 foot, 6'1". I know you don't look it when you sat down in front of the screen. Adam's about 6'9". So I was literally like thinking I was like tallish, and yeah, I couldn't reach Adam. Couldn't even kiss him properly. Had to kiss him in the chest. So I will speak to you all soon then. I'll let you know, like I said, I'll be posting up when I'm going to do some more interviews, but definitely going to do a few more, maybe a couple a week in the winter when people, you know, they're back in the home a bit more in the winter nights. So me and Adam were discussing about that. And hopefully, and then a few more people might be around for the lives in the winter months, and try and do a couple a week, maybe one motocross and one speedway, something like that again. Try and do a few more. And so yeah, we'll keep you all in with the info for this Cardiff Supercross VIP tickets competition. I'll be doing that live Thursday night 8 p.m. So message me if you want to get involved. Speak to you all soon. Thank you very much. And as my dad said, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Leave it on that. Thank you very much.